You put it in Discord. Nope. Did you put it in Discord?
You're
Nope.
ruining the show, Tony.
Huh?
I said you're ruining the show.
Oh, my bad.
What's going on? It's your boy Nationwide Wise Guy. I'm sitting here with my people, a panel of Gun Squad members. And I've had a problem with it. I had an issue with a thing that's been real big and major right now. But y'all can't hear me, of course. Y'all can't hear me. Now y'all can. Here. Um, I've been having a problem with an issue. Uh, it's this reparations thing. I don't know what y'all think about it, but I have a problem with this reparations because um, you're talking about giving money to people who, at one point in time, even when they had the opportunity to work, they don't want to. I'm not talking about the ones, like the vets who y'all aren't taking care of. I'm not talking about the people who really need the help. I'm talking about, a lot of the people who make a career out of living off of the government. So really what I wanted to talk to y'all about is this reparations thing. Do y'all think it's a good idea or a bad idea? Um, I will ask my panel first. I'd like to go ahead and start with who's first on my list. Let's go with Barbara.
Do I think it's a good idea or a bad idea? I think it's a
Yeah, you
horrible
think,
idea.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't understand how they could logically think it's okay to punish the son for the sins of the father.
I was just going to say that, Barbara. Yes, I agree with that.
So essentially, it's the same thing if I was to go murder someone, they could arrest my son for my crime.
Right.
Yeah, that's like some shit they do in Islam. Your grandfather insulted me, so I will cut your toes off.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea because who has oppressed me, and to give me money for something that happened generations ago, that also has to go out. You have to understand this: all the taxes that I paid into the government, I'm just paying myself.
I definitely believe in meritocracy.
Right. Okay. Pretty Little Wife, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a horrible idea for a lot of reasons, but mainly it's I think what we're seeing and why this was held now is it's kind of a setup. It's a double-edged sword setup, if you will. So the Democrats know good and well that this won't pass. So they've done this now, one, to give false hope to anybody that's banking on this, and two, so that they can turn around and say, see, those racists, those damn, Republicans, and that will become one of the main talking points for the 472 presidential hopefuls on the other side. So that's part of it. But as a whole, no, I don't. Well, it's a lot like what Barbara said. Why? I've never owned a slave. Why would I have to pay anything for that kind of oppression that nobody I know committed? So it's silly, and we have to. I'll say this, and then I'll shut up. But we have to be mindful too that people forget very quickly. Back in 2009, there was the huge stimulus package, right? So there was like $900 billion Obama had, and where'd that money go? Well, it went in the pockets of a lot of dirty politicians, but it also if that would have been the time, right? You had a black president and you had a supermajority. So if it was a matter of doing this for the purpose of doing it, not just a talking point, it would have been done then, and it wasn't. So I think people have to be very mindful of what led up to this, why it's being done now, and what it's going to present in the very near future.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, on that,
Makes sense.
to piggyback off of that, just like me and Tony was saying, look at the Democratic-run cities. Most cities that are controlled by Democrats are shitholes. Their schools are the lowest performing schools. They have the largest amounts of, let's say, lower income population.
Right.
And there's a reason for that. If you look at the Republican run cities, I mean, I'm not going to say they're better on a larger scale, but they are better. Democrats are doing this for their benefit only. And they're using this talking point almost as the same as the president. What was the president? He said, I'll have these N words voting for Democrats for the
Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, because honestly and truthfully, if you think about it, it's all a distraction. It's truly a distraction. One thing that I truly believe, and I've talked to a few people about it, is, why do you think this caravan is coming in such big numbers?
Yes.
This caravan is coming in such big numbers because of the simple fact, when you think about it, they have been losing the black vote. A lot of people they've been losing a lot of the black vote, the gay vote, and all those other people. And why not get all these people in here that, at
to
the end
replace
of the day,
the black
you don't
vote.
understand that the black vote is going to be no more. All they need to lose is 15% of the black vote. Out of the like 90 something percent that they have, all they need to lose, well, 88% that they have, all they need to lose is 15%, and they're afraid of losing that right now. That's why they're pushing those people in right now.
Yep. It's to replace the black vote.
So that's why I say this is a distraction. They're either telling you, either take this money or we're going to replace you with these people.
And these people coming from third world countries where their monthly income is no more than $20.
Right.
You give them all this free stuff. They could basically come here and live free. You think they're not going to vote the way they want them to vote? And vote for the people who are giving them the free shit?
Why wouldn't they?
Is that really how you see it, Nationwide?
Yes.
You really think it's a trade-off, take this money or else? Is that really how you see it?
I mean, you have to think about it. They've used more despicable moves. The stimulus package, all that was to cover. All the stimulus package was to cover a very bad idea, which was Obamacare. Here, let me give you a whole bunch of money. That was a good idea, right? That was a great idea. Then they threw the stimulus package out with the very same exact punchline, the same exact, everything, and sold that off too. I mean, everything that is done, it's always done in doubles. It's never done like one thing at a time. It's either take this or take this.
The illusion of choice.
Right, and it's usually the same scheme, just dressed in a different costume.
Exactly. It's just a different benefit they're offering.
Yep.
Whether it's free money, again, because this ain't no different than the stimulus package. Pretty little wife, you're the one that sent me the story that I didn't know anything about about how Ohio was literally trying to make it to where even if they did, stop late term abortions, it still didn't apply to black women.
Yeah, that was a real headline. That was a legit headline.
So white women would have to carry that baby to term. White women had to do it. But black
Right.
women could still go ahead and do that late term abortion. And it was a good thing that that thing got stopped.
Well, it's disgusting, truly. And my real question is for the Black community: how the hell do we help wake everyone up? Because if it's true that 90% vote Democratic, that's a problem. It really is.
Well,
And
I
I
mean,
think
I
we're at
know
the
the
point
numbers
now.
have
Well, but
dropped.
this falls on blacks. It does,
Right.
and
Well, I know
that's
the numbers have dropped, but they had us up to 90%.
well. But it's. I mean, this is. It's incredible to me that we even hear about slavery so often as we do, and who do we hear it from? From the very people that put it in place. So let's be mindful of that.
Jim Crow was not Republicans. I'll tell y'all that now. That wasn't Republicans.
Well,
Can I
no, but our
jump in?
history is a bunch of lies. I mean, our history isn't break down that word. It's his story. I mean, the victor is the one that tells the story. So we have to learn what truly took place, who was, because it wasn't that long ago, right? So once we, can see that for what it is, we can begin the wake up process. And it's painful. It's not fun to wake up. It hurts like hell, but it has to be done, or we're going to lose a whole lot.
The only problem with waking up is the only problem with waking up is trying to wake up the people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because a lot of people get inside. I mean, like this
it's
is
done
what
in
I noticed with
stages.
my
Yeah.
people. With my people, we get comfortable in this bubble that has told us that violence, that self-proclaimed savagery, that's the way of life, and that's how you get respect. You
Right,
got
but it
the
wasn't always
entire
that way. You
world.
guys moved to that, and I think a lot is practiced on the black community, and it's very unfair. It's very unfair.
But my take on this is one, reparations. It's a distraction.
Right.
You know, you know, since the equal opportunity or whatever, I forget what bill that Johnson signed. Like you're saying, back in the early '60s, we gonna have these Negroes voting for us for the next 100 years. So when we
Right.
sign this thing, I got Martin Luther King behind me. We sign this thing. Yeah, we shall overcome. Overcome what? Overcome stupidity? No, no. My thing, my thing is this coming out of the woodworks now. Okay, this collusion stuff has been debunked, and people are starting to go to jail for this.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's the
therefore,
distraction.
right, the demon rats are like, oh shit, we have to think of something else. Two, Talking Points USA, Candace Owens, this Blexit, black smart folks are starting to wake up. What have in my lifetime, I say I'm about 25, 30. In my lifetime, what has the Democrats ever done for me? Nothing. But they tell me that side is holding you back. No, no, it's the indoctrination in school, in college, that they tell you, oh, yeah, you're going to come out and you're going to have a nice this and a nice that, with this degree. No, no, it's an indoctrination. There's nothing other than three types of fields that you can go to college for, pretty much, that you can come out to get a job to pay back your bills. So there's no point of going. Two, but three, back on the reparation thing.
Right.
We need to start offering black folks money now, talking about getting the money so they can come back to the Democratic Party. So we
Yeah.
can win. No, you ain't gonna win because there I'll say it. Our eyes have been open. My eyes have been open as to where, okay, I see substantial changes. I don't see hope and change and promises that are never kept. I see substantial changes,
Yeah.
you know, and for those who don't see it, they are I'm a they're ignorant of the facts. I'm not going to say they're ignorant or stupid. They're ignorant of the facts. Their biggest, their hatreds, their bigotry is coming out of them because everybody's a bigot against something, one form or another. But the hatred for this man, because of the Democrats, the mainstream media keeps pumping in their heads, and they keep looking at the mainstream media. Oh, orange man bad, orange man bad, orange man
Right.
bad. So therefore, how are you gonna not see progress? I mean, I can understand if it was just a left-leaning news organization that's saying, "Oh yeah, we got more jobs than that can be filled." No, this is coming from the CBR. They are a bipartisan organization that looks at the economy and jobs and get the numbers and all of that. Yeah, they're not flowing, but we do have jobs. Folks that
Right.
can't get jobs because of one form or another, they're drug addict, they're felon, and who wants to hire somebody that they cannot trust? I cannot hire nobody that I can't trust. And then two, and then when you're talking about this open border, yeah, the Democrats are holding out the money to get immigrants over here so they can fill the ballot boxes because so many black folks have left, quote unquote, the Democratic plantation because they've woken up. I've been
Right.
voting Democrat all my life because my mama told me, my daddy told me I had to vote Democrat. My grandfather told me. Then they parents told them they had to vote Democrat because of what? Johnson signed the fucking bill because damn Martin Luther King was standing behind him and he was pushing for it.
Right.
So that is one stupid ass reason to vote. You're voting against your own interests because all the time you've been alive, yes, they've been giving your ass free shit. You're just too fucking lazy to go out there and make a living. So
That's what
you
I've been
will,
trying to say for the longest. I'm just tired of,
yeah,
I mean, me being a black man, it's not self hate. It's not self hate at all.
it's
I'm sick
self-preservation.
and tired. I'm sick and tired of looking at black people always with their hand out. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of us sitting back talking about how good we are, but we don't have to show it. We don't have to prove it.
I mean, in majority, you go to a 7-Eleven, you go to a convenience store, the majority of the race of person that's standing out there, bro, you got any spare change? Is black. And
Well,
it's
okay.
sad. It's
So,
sad.
Tony, so that brings up a really good point. I mean, but let's look at the definition there. So, are we helping perpetuate the idea of free? Because I think everyone on this panel will agree nothing's free. So, you have to look at, are people even aware of what they are trading in for
No, they're
this?
not. They're not.
Okay, well, then
They're
that's
dead.
part of the problem.
Right, exactly. Exactly. They are not because for one, like I said, you have a president up there in the White House right now that the mainstream media shits on every night. And then two, these folks, quote unquote, you got all of these liberal Democratic talking heads constantly saying that he's this, he's that, he's doing this. I saw an interview on a YouTube channel called Man on the Street. And there was some Democratic town hall that they had. I can't remember where it was at,
Right.
and it had maybe about a couple thousand people in it, maybe, and the guy was out there interviewing him. How did the town hall go? Oh yeah, he was interviewing blacks, whites, and all. And then most of the blacks come out there. Then he asked, well, what do you think about Trump's Trump's town hall down there in Orlando. Oh well, that would breed the hatred and xenophobic and the racistness and all of this. And it's
Yeah,
like,
they
woman, you
regurgitate what they hear.
right? It's like
Righteousness.
exactly. It's like, woman,
Some of it.
you look like you're about $3 short of a motherfucking WIC card.
Right.
Okay, so look, that makes me want to bring this up. So the Tanishi Coates, okay? Tanishi Coates was on that. He was one of the people being questioned at the hearing, right? And he says Americans would love to be taxed only on what they are solely responsible for. But American citizens are bound to a collective enterprise that extends beyond our personal reach. He says the real dilemma posed is a dilemma of inheritance. Slavery is an inheritance.
It ain't
Okay,
none of my
so
inheritance.
thank
I mean,
you.
but
But
it's
I
not
didn't inherit
mine
it.
either.
But
That's the
to
let me
thing.
me,
tell you what.
it
I'm
makes
I'm
me think of slavery of the
Mm-mm.
mind.
it is
Yes,
exactly
exactly. And that
my.
is a colorless affliction.
My reparations was. If I can call it a reparation, my reparation was an education.
Right.
Okay, I was born in '65. I should have paid more attention in school because back then it was critical thinking. The teachers challenged you,
Yes.
Okay,
and
but
then
what good is an education
I
if it's all
graduated.
lies?
Wait a minute. No, 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 no. This was back in the '60s, in the early '70s. This was before the Common Core. The Common Core started
Mm.
all the lies.
Well,
Yeah, that's the
okay.
socialist
I mean,
agenda.
it
Right,
accelerated all the lies.
right,
I mean, it
exactly.
Yeah.
accelerated
But
it.
I mean,
but
there's
our
always been government
when
propaganda, but
right, it's
that's
always been. But back in the '70s, when I was going to school, my teachers challenged me, even with what was in the book.
Yes.
back then they
My
Yes,
still
they did.
taught Bloom's taxonomy.
right, they taught like, okay, you do a book report. They see that, okay, you didn't do much external searching. You just did a report on what you read. Then that's when the questions came. Then that's when you came back and it's like, okay, let me go to the library. Let me look at another book. Let me look up this subject.
Right.
They challenged you back then, not now, as to where you do a book report. Oh yeah, Johnny, that was spot on. Yeah. You ain't learned a damn thing for what that book told you what to do.
No, and let's be honest, back then, so with the black community back then, if they weren't compelled to look for that knowledge in the books themselves,
Right.
honestly, the the outlook on slavery that a lot of black folks got back then were from TV shows like Roots. Like
Yeah.
this evil white man was coming to their land and just stealing all the freaking black people and bringing them over here as slaves.
Right. Like I said,
And
I
it's not
knew
what happened.
I knew of slavery for because we had to do a paper on that in my junior year. I had to do a paper on that. And I that was a while I spent in the library looking in different publications, but it was taught, it was teaching back then. It wasn't indoctrinating back then.
Right.
So I wish I would have paid more attention in high school, of learning. So I was afforded the opportunity to join the military.
But see, at the same time, you got to look at the same thing that Barbara was talking about. They made it seem like these white these white people were just beating the shit out of these black people. You don't understand. What was the sentence in beating the shit out of these black people if you had them working for you?
Exactly.
Yeah, not
If
only
you're
not
beating the
only
shit
that.
out of
I mean,
them,
it
they're not.
happened.
I mean,
It
they're not
happened, but it didn't happen as
right.
on every on
No, they
every
weren't happy
plantation,
in
and it didn't happen in
slavery,
large
but at the same
numbers.
time, they wasn't getting the shit beaten out of them to where they couldn't perform their job.
No, that would be
Right.
like buying a car and taking a freaking baseball bat to it. What good is it?
Yeah. But
Well,
Right.
but
okay, so to touch on that, they did there was I spent a couple hours a few weekends ago listening to like the recrystallization of these old audio files. And there was he was a slave back in whenever that took place, and they redid these audio files. It was some of the most fulfilling hours of audio that I've ever listened to, because you get to hear it from the person that lived it.
Right.
And some of the things that this man said, it does give you a window into what took place. And of course, it's only one man's account, but it's very interesting. And they had it from both, his perspective, a woman slave's perspective, from a white man's perspective. And something that, it just sent chills down my spine was to hear this man say that after they had been freed, it was very troublesome because they didn't know where to go. They didn't know what to do. They had known this life for so long, and then they were freed, and you hear that as a historical element, and you think, well, that's a good thing, but it really messed with them.
Right.
And so after a little time had gone by, he said that he was talking to, a white guy, and the white man said to him, well, it's got to be nice to have your rights back. And the black man chuckled. And he just looked at him and said, you can't take something from somebody that wasn't given by man.
Right.
And I just thought, well, and it gives me chills right now just to think about it, because it's so very true. And so where are we today with that, right? I mean, that's something we can all learn from and apply solution with. But everybody wants to stay in this imaginary problem. And that's, I think, what I struggle with so much, is that we're all, trying to do our best on every day that we're given.
Right.
So why wouldn't we focus there?
Yeah. Like we've been saying, you know, this this topic of reparations, it's just another democratic tactic to try to get as many black folks to come out to vote, you know.
Because so
Open
many are
borders.
waking up.
Yeah,
You notice?
open borders. Get these folks in here, get them in these sanctuary cities so they can go down to DMV and apply for a license and automatically be registered to vote.
Right.
And they ain't a
Do
legal citizen.
do
Go
you
ahead, John.
realize
Well,
how
after
many
after Barbara, you go ahead, John.
black people did not realize that the Democrats were the party of the KKK?
I
I
didn't
say
Yeah,
know.
they were.
I say a whole lot of them.
They
Hey,
did
Tony,
not
hold up,
realize
hold
that
the
they
fort
were the
down for me for a
party of
second.
slavery.
All right.
Yep, and they also are called the Santa Claus Party. They promise a lot of shit, and they don't deliver
And never
most of it.
deliver.
Right.
Yep.
And if folks actually just actually crack a book,
Right.
you hear this, you hearing a whole lot of rhetoric, right? Well, the Republicans did this, Republicans did that. And if you're just gonna go by somebody's word on a tell lie vision
Right.
and not actually, okay, let me either just throw it through the Google and see what happened. I mean, just do a basic Google search.
Yeah, but
Mm.
even that
And
right now
Use
is a
no,
problem
DuckDuckGo.
right.
because it's
No, no.
propaganda.
No, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is if you just throw it into the Google, you'll eventually find something, or you take your ass out there and actually find the information. That's the problem.
Well,
That's the
people are
problem with
surprisingly incurious. They're just not curious,
no no
and
it's
they're not.
no, it's not people. It's not people. It's it's some of the black folks. They will sit there and they will, because of
Yeah.
their parents will sit there and listen to all of this propaganda. I go home.
It is propaganda.
My dad is like focused on CNN. I
Well,
have
and
to
that's my
leave the
in-laws
house.
are like that.
I
They're the
have to leave
same
the
way.
house. I mean, I'll walk in, I'll see my dad, and I'll make an excuse to go out to my sister's house.
Well,
Mhm.
we have to look at it too. It's not just like, okay, so my in-laws are Democrats, and they will not change at all. They don't want
Hmm.
to hear it. They don't care. It's so
No,
it's not
I'm
it's
not trying to
colorless.
change. I'm not trying to
No,
change
but well,
nobody.
it's interesting that our generation can move from that kind of instilled doctrination and go, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. But our parents really struggle.
The parents are comfortable where they're at.
Yes, yeah, they are.
They were in the Democratic Party when it
Yeah,
was in a
when it was
transition
the
period.
JFK party, it was a very different thing.
Exactly. It was different back then. That's why they say, that's why you hear from time to time This is not the JFK Democrats.
Right. Well,
You will
POTUS
hear
was a
that.
Democrat. I mean, come on,
Right.
Yeah,
it's
you.
let's be realistic about
Yeah, he
this.
was a
Republicans
Democrat.
are no saints.
Yeah,
It's two
yeah,
sides of the same coin. It really
right.
is.
It is, but I mean, it's like, but when do you quote unquote take advantage of the situation? Barack didn't take advantage of the situation.
Oh, Barry, good old Barry.
Yeah, he had a beautiful opportunity, okay?
But he
He
doesn't
was
care.
exactly, he doesn't
He
care.
wasn't a real president.
He
I can't
wasn't
wait for him
real.
to get impeached.
He was control and handle. Now, this dude up there at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue now,
And
you can't control him.
no, you can't.
No.
Which is
Well,
the reason why we was voted for, because
Right.
yeah.
he was not a career politician. He was a
No.
No.
businessman.
Everybody was tired of that.
That's
Yep.
why they're trying to control the people, because if they can
But
control the
yes,
people, they don't have to
yes,
worry about him.
Yep.
Yep.
exactly.
I'm gonna tell you now. I mean, think about it. This reparations.
We've never
I
seen
mean,
anything like this ever.
they're talking about giving this money away to just people, just people. Okay, and the only way to get it is you have to vote Democrat. We don't give a damn which one of us it is
Yeah.
because we're all offering it.
Well, how are they going to enforce that?
They haven't. There's like every democratic idea. We ain't thought that far. We just need to dangle. We just need to dangle a little fucking shiny trinket in front of your ass to get you
I
to
like shiny
calm the
things.
fuck down. And hey, come on over here. We'll get our talking heads up here and say, "Oh, why the Republicans? Why the white folks ain't giving out the
Well,
reparations?"
and then it makes my like the conspiracy part of me goes kind of crazy with this because I think about it and I'm like, how are they going to prove that you
Exactly.
come from lineage?
They
They're going
have
to get your
not.
DNA. Like, what? What are we doing here?
How long has the reparation put out there for the government? How long they been talking about this?
I don't know.
This
I
is
have no
the
idea.
this is the first
It's
time they've had the conversation in 12 years.
Yeah,
right
because
in
they're
12 years.
terrified. You have
What's
to
been
think about that.
yeah,
Like,
what's
why would they go to these lengths? Why do
who
they go through the trouble of 2 years doing nothing but negativity, negative, negative, negative?
who's been
And
in
that,
the
like,
office
come
for
on.
16? Who's been in the
Well,
office for
yeah.
16
Who's
They
been
years?
could
running
have
it
put in
since
all this
GHW?
reparations when they were doing Black Lives Matter. They could have did all
Man,
that and got
No,
it
no.
passed immediately,
No.
but they
it's been the
didn't.
same force
If
since
if
GHW.
Black Lives
reparation if
Matter's a
reparations
psyop.
yeah, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
reparations would
saying
have been given,
they could have threw that reparations out there during the Black Lives Matter movement, and they could have had that shit signed immediately. They
no,
didn't because
Yeah,
they
they
didn't
don't really
want it.
give a shit.
no.
It's
No,
all
they
Right.
don't give
about
a shit.
That's what I'm
Reparations
saying.
is a
politics.
This is
farce.
just another promise that they have no
Well,
intention of
it,
keeping because they can't.
yeah, it's to
They
quiet the
can't.
masses. That's what
Thank
it
you.
There's
is.
no
That's it.
way.
That's it. It's to quiet
Economically,
the
there's no
masses.
way
It's
to
just
Yep.
like on
No,
the
you're
topic
talking.
of gun control,
Yes.
where
Oh God.
we,
Oof.
yeah,
Come on.
where they promise all this shit. We're gonna take all the guns, but in reality, with the
Try.
exception of Clinton in '96 with the Brady Bill, with that exception, it's always been Republicans that have fucked up our Second Amendment rights, from Reagan to Trump, the '86 full auto ban, the bump stock
God.
ban, the
Yeah.
so on and so forth. It's always been during when Republicans were in control, with the
Right.
exception of Clinton, who actually believed the shit he was saying.
And these
Right.
fools don't even know there's no such thing as an assault rifle. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Some of these motherfuckers don't
Exactly.
believe there's a such thing as. I mean, they don't even know that there's no such thing as a what is it? A fully
An assault
semi-automatic.
Fully
rifle.
semi
Yeah, he
Yes.
Assault
said
rifle.
fully
Yes.
The only
Idiots.
the assault
God,
rifle
dog.
has been
Really?
banned for over
The
30
assault rifle.
years.
Well, it doesn't exist. So what's been
It's
banned
it's
exactly?
it's
Semi-automatic.
been banned for over 30
Shit.
years, and the only person who has legal access to it ain't even
You
on the
have to have
black
about
market. It's
It's
the
$20,000.
Amolite.
freaking doggone
No,
Isn't that
government.
isn't that
legal
what the A
access. You
stands
have to have
for?
about $20,000,
It stands
because
for
you can
that
only
dude's
Oh,
buy
name.
ones that are
it
made
stands
in
for Amolite.
1986 or before. You can't buy ones made from 1987 on.
Nope.
And
Oh.
even then, it's a lot of paperwork. It's a long wait,
Mm.
and it's about
That's just like you trying to buy
$20,000.
a tank. You can buy a tank.
Yeah,
You
Well,
you
just
just
have
gotta
to
have
go
the
through the
money.
paperwork.
and this
Yeah,
Oh
wasn't the
hell.
intention. You know,
Yeah.
we used
And
to
they
have the
up there
same
talking about,
weaponry
oh,
as our
AR
military. So
AR means assault
really,
rifle. No,
I just want
AR
to say
is the
this.
maker of the damn
well, it
rifle.
means Amolite.
Yeah.
They think
Armalite.
AR. Yeah, Armalite.
Armor
Yeah,
light.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Here's the whole problem with that
they're
whole
more,
thing.
but the
But
It's
see,
Democrats
not
here's,
the AR doesn't mean assault rifle like everyone thinks. It's not
but
what
see,
it
here's
means.
the
No, it means
problem with the
armor light
whole thing.
rifle.
If you
Thank you.
look
Yeah.
at it though, hold on a
Armor light
second.
rifle number 15.
Yes, sir.
Leave it to John
exactly,
Rice to
John.
change the subject from
Yeah. Well, that's
reparations
what
to
it is.
freaking gun control.
Well,
Well,
shit. It's
that's
all
because
it's all
gun control is
connected. It's all
racist.
connected. It's all
Gun
connected. They
control,
just want to fuck us.
reparations, and one other thing, which is
Ugh.
gun control, reparations, and
Yeah.
shit. I had it a second ago.
Way to go, John.
Yeah, I know, right?
Fucking
Fucking
John,
up.
man.
You're fucking up.
Okay, gun controls are the minimum
You're the
minimum
smart one.
wage.
Oh God,
Minimum
that's such
wage,
bullshit.
gun control, and reparations. Those are
Yep.
three racist points of the Democratic Party. But
I
they're
agree.
subtly
They're so
racist. Only
racist.
subtly.
Right.
Oh
But how is
no,
it that none of
So
us are racist
no,
then?
no.
I mean, the only
I'm
people that the minimum
I
wage
mean,
thing, the only people that truly affects is white men.
I'm
or
a
small business owners.
no.
Well, and
Most of
also
them are
I'm a
white men.
it was first come about in
It's ridiculous, is what it is.
of the time, but it was first the minimum wage was first introduced to push children and minorities out of the workplace. Because if I got to pay somebody, let's say in today's terms, $15 an hour, I'm not hiring that lazy guy, that guy
nope.
with the dope habit and
Exactly.
70 baby mamas. And always taking them from work and messing my business up, and I'm not
You're not
hiring.
hiring them anyway.
Right.
Yeah, if I'm gonna pay $15 an hour, I'm gonna get, I'm gonna get somebody that I think is gonna give me my value. Now today, fuck,
Right.
who even is
No.
that?
See,
You know,
that's what
like
that's what these race hustlers are not thinking about. $15 an hour. Don't you realize that most of these entry level jobs, to give kids, that are
Hmm.
in high school, give these folks that are going to college, a little extra money. Don't you realize that it doesn't take that much to put a kiosk up in a business?
yep.
Well, look, we
And
have
the
a
thing is,
17, 16, and 15-year-old, and I'll tell you how that translates to them.
Yeah.
That, I mean, Phoenix, he works at a water world out here and making, about $11 an hour. And I just thought
yep.
about that for a minute when I was his age. Minimum wage was $4.25.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
what?
I remember it
Minimum
was
wage is
37. I
11
remember when it was
bucks.
375.
Okay, well, I'm younger than you.
Yeah. Go ahead. Always, always.
Boom.
Always
There's that.
always
Places that
younger.
have
Yeah, I
instituted it,
remember. I
you know what's
remember.
happened?
I remember.
In all the places that has instituted this above and beyond the federal,
Mm-hmm.
which at this
They've shut
point it's
down.
like they had to make it federal because everywhere had passed it, and they're like, well, shit, and they it just finally came to a necessity because they let the bullshit start in the first place.
Right.
But like now, all the places that have instituted a $15 minimum wage for hamburger flippers and stuff,
Yeah.
it's all come to okay. Now the goods there are more expensive. The housing there is more expensive. Housing is
Yeah.
always based on 1/3 of the income,
Yep.
and
It
so if
always
the
goes
income
It
on
always
to the
raises, they raise
consumer.
equals
the rent.
out.
It does.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
They
right.
raise everything, and now
Consumer
that
always
$15
pays
an
for
hour
it.
job that you could live on last week, you
Right.
can't. Now it's like a $7 an hour job because
That's
fucked
right.
up the economy.
That's
Here,
right. That's
Right.
right.
on that $15 an hour thing. Here it is. Motherfuckers are treating that damn entry level job like a fucking career. That's
Right. You're
why
not
they out there
supposed to
fucking
be able
whining.
to.
It's supposed
Yeah.
to be an entry level to get you for
Yep.
doggone high
Exactly.
I
schoolers
mean, that's
and
just
Right.
like
and
this one.
freshmen
That's
and
just like
Do
juniors
this
you
in
one
know how
thing
many
college.
that I
years
know.
it took me
The
There's this
working as
one.
an
subsidized
This
electrician's
one
guilty.
thing that I
helper
know.
before
We
I
can't
even
hear
got
none of y'all.
near
Y'all all
$15 an
talking.
hour?
Hey,
Oh, right.
It took me
this one chick that
years.
I know. I went to school with her. She's had the same job. And look, check this out. We were born like a year apart. I'm like a year older than her. She got the job when she was 16. She still has the same job as you know,
Good for her.
cleaning tables.
Or
Walking.
not. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
30
Like,
years
on
working at
everything. We don't
Waffle House cleaning
sell
tables. Not,
Jeez.
I mean,
But
won't even take a management position. Just happy being a table.
right, that's
Yeah.
passive.
Well,
I mean, you're
Yeah.
living within your means doing
Well,
that.
there's a
Yeah.
reason why they do that,
yeah,
though.
there's a reason she won't go into management
They
for sure.
keep those entry level jobs because it keeps them below a certain pay rate
Right, below
where they can
taxation.
still where they can still
They come
collect
ahead.
benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they come
Just like
ahead.
they won't get a full-time
Easier.
job, they only take the part-time jobs because it keeps them below
Exactly.
Right, and it keeps them in
that
exempt
limit.
status too.
Yes, to where they can
Yeah.
still collect food stamps and
Yep.
But
housing
yeah.
and all this other stuff because
And
So tell me
inevitably
again, what's
they
free?
get more. They get more out of getting that free stuff than having to work and having to
yeah.
pay for
Nothing
a
is free.
normal rate.
On the
Nothing is
flip
free.
side, if you were to
So
cut
with
out
that
this
being said, are
loophole,
you
here's
trying
the
to tell?
downside
So
of
with that
that
being said, are you trying to tell
is
me that you want me to pay reparations to these people and food
Mm-hmm.
stamps?
Yep, all of it. And it'll never be enough. We'll be back on this in 10 years.
Yeah.
yep.
Oh yeah, nationwide. That's right. I forgot. I'm on food stamps, but I want my reparations too, so I can,
Get some
get me a
rims.
60-inch flat screen for the crib.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Get some rims on my whip.
Gotta get them
Oh,
rims.
I got to get me a new stereo because I blew
I
a
got
speaker out.
you.
And
I
if you
got
in
to.
Texas, you're getting a grill.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Getting the
Damn.
grill, and
Better get
then
the
In Texas.
iPhone
I still got about
XXX.
5,000 left.
And the
Oh,
Good
kids
me and
need
grill.
their
Pookie.
new Jordans.
Yep, me and Pookie going
Mm.
out
Yeah,
on the
got
town
it.
to
Me
the
and
strip
Pookie
club,
and Ray
yo.
Ray.
Yup. Me, Pookie, and Ray Ray going out there to
Yeah.
the strip club, dog. We
Yeah.
gonna live it up. And then
Yeah,
by
you know,
next month, we still out there.
I
Yo,
got
bro,
money.
you got
I
any
hit
spare
Miami
change?
yesterday. I'm hitting that strip
You
club.
got any spare change,
Mm.
bro? You got any
Okay.
spare change?
Change.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
Change.
Oh, that's reality though. That's the truth of it. It's scary.
You
It
see, the
It's like
is.
bad
that
thing about
South
it
Park
with me is
episode.
I can
It
get
is a
money.
South
I
Park
just don't
Change.
episode.
tell
Change.
nobody.
Spare change. Change.
I
Well,
took her
just
Spare change.
jobs.
Yeah.
look at
Spare
all
change.
people living in low income areas, how many tattoos they'll
That
have.
motherfucker
You
said a
realize how
slab
much a
candy
small
painted.
tattoo
Hell yeah.
costs?
Well, a
It's
lot of them, to be fair,
Slab
Barbara, a lot of them people trade ramen noodles, soups for them tattoos, and they cost like 90 cents total. Like, and they ain't necessarily
Yeah,
made
maybe
with the
in
best or
freaking
cleanest
prison, not on the
equipment.
street. Ain't no tattoo artist taking no ramen
okay.
noodles.
On
Well,
the
we can
street
talk.
too, there's scratchers everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
there are
lot of these
scratchers and
people
there's
in low income
Yeah.
artists.
areas, they don't go to a professional
Nope.
shop to get it done.
Well,
They
and
ain't
there's
got
low
the money
overhead
for
in a
that. They
shop.
can't hustle for that.
Very low overhead.
Unless a real good tattoo artist comes into a drug habit. That's when they get good tattoos for what they
All right, I
can.
think we're kind of straying though.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
no. I mean, no. We're on point. We're just talking about the
And
aftermath of
yeah,
me
it's the
getting my
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$2,876. For my reparations, dog.
Right. And how do you
It's
put a
way too
dollar
much.
on that? That's what I want to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
This is the most retarded thing that they're talking
It
about and
is.
still talking about. But have you noticed though, with this big reparation talk, where are the 2 to 3 freaking black race hustlers? Where are they at?
We're Sharpton.
I have not heard a peep out of them.
Right.
Man,
Reparations is
it's
back on the market now. It's on mainstream media. They
no.
should be
Well,
out there. They should be out there hustling this.
and we need
Where
to
are
look
they?
at what is actually going on in the world that this particular conversation is deterring us from
They
looking
are.
at.
They no.
No,
They
really.
have
All
not
meant to
There's
divide
other
us.
right,
things.
but they have nothing else to do. The blacks are jumping ship. We need to get them back. So
You
therefore, we're
can't
all
jump
for
when it gets scary, when it gets hard. That's the time you dig your heels in.
yeah. But no,
Right.
what I'm saying, they're leaving the Democratic Party. So therefore, okay, reparations. We're gonna get you reparations now.
Right.
Okay, don't leave. We're gonna get you reparations. Don't leave.
Yeah.
Well,
That's why they bringing up reparations because it's money.
sure.
Black folks gonna turn around and say, "What? What? Hold up! You talking about free money? Okay, I'll
But it's
stay.
not
I'll
free.
stay."
It's not free.
No, I
Nothing's
know it's
free.
not free.
I
No,
know
I
it.
mean, it's like
essentially,
they've been talking about reparations for the last 50, 60 years, 70
Really?
years, 80 years, and nothing has
Yeah.
happened.
Really?
Nothing.
It's been
Yes,
a
Yeah.
really.
topic for
It,
Wow.
It's been a
Al
topic for
Sharpton them been
decades.
talking about this shit since Al Sharpton them been on the streets of New York.
Man.
Yeah, they've been talking about it
Reparations.
for decades.
Every time the black folks start to actually thinking for themselves, they
Mm.
send Al and Jesse
How
out
about
there to
that?
talk about
How
reparations.
about that? God, dog.
Yep.
Wow.
As soon as
That's
the black
nice.
folks start thinking for themselves, they send the race hustlers out there. Okay, we're gonna now the new race hustlers, April Ryan, that other chick that
Ugh,
be on
gross.
CNN with her little loud mouth
Don
and all.
Lemon.
And
Yeah.
Don Lemon, yeah, those are the
Yeah, yeah.
new race hustlers that's
Mm.
gonna keep the black folk on the plantation because orange man's bad. So
Orange Man is
therefore,
not so bad.
so therefore, okay, how are we gonna keep these folks on the plantation? Oh yeah, that's right. We already give them welfare for nothing. Ah,
Right.
reparations. So they're going to stay now. The
It's
idiots are going to stay.
ridiculous.
That's all this reparation talk is about.
Okay, so what's the
Keeping what
solution?
what what little black folks that are still left and incompetent in the mind
I think
will
there's a
offer them
lot.
free money, and and we know we got their support. That's why burning them, all these
No.
Democrats are like,
Man.
some of them are tap dancing around reparations.
Right.
Some of them are just coming out straight out. I'm getting that vote. I'm getting that
Mm-hmm.
nomination. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna get you, doggone reparation. You get reparation. You get
You
reparation.
get a car.
You
You
get
get a car. You get a
yeah.
car.
So
Mm-hmm.
therefore,
Come
I
on
keep
down.
talking reparations. I'm gonna get the nomination. It's all about them. Them 30
Mm.
something Democrats, whether you want the
All
black
about
vote, because everybody else then woke up now as to where y'all are full of shit.
I hope so. I
But
hope
if
you're
you
You know,
right.
want to,
y'all
but
are
if you
full
want
of
to know
shit.
what's funny, I mean, because I can't show the video. I wish I could. But you know what's real funny about the whole situation is if you go back and look, it's again a situation where it's not black people fighting for what reparations. It's white people trying to give you something
Oh
you don't
yeah. Good
want.
point. Good point.
Right. The
Really good point.
Democrats are
The
trying to
black
give
people
it to
stopped
them.
asking for reparations years ago, and you're trying to give it to us now, and we're not
I
asking for
understand. Okay.
Exactly. We're trying to keep you here so you can vote for us next year, man. Come on.
Again.
I'm gonna give you this $2,862.75. So you can get
75
your
cents.
75 cents so you can get your whip straight. Get that grill,
to get
get
at
that
my
grill
sister.
polished. So when you go out to the clubs, you open your mouth, you hit that shine, and
Shit.
you get that bling
Man.
in your mouth. You might can
Don't
put
you
yeah,
get
one or
yeah,
two
my
diamonds in there
have
now.
that
responsibility?
system booming right. Got your rims on your
Yep.
rims on your whip.
Hey, I gotta get you that two
Funny.
thousand eight hundred and $75, man.
Man, he's got it
Man,
down. It's funny.
But I mean,
like the
it's
Budo said, candy painted slab.
can't. That's it.
It
And they're doing
right
this,
now.
because
Got the
this is
TV and
this
the
is a
damn steering
desperation.
wheel.
Peanut butter
What?
inside, outside jelly.
Yeah, this is
Hmm.
this is a desperation move on the
It
Democrats.
is. It's
It's
sad.
very desperate, and the folks who are following for this, like that gentleman that was speaking up there,
Oh,
the older gentleman that was up on the hill that was
oh,
speaking.
he was great.
Oh,
Burgess
he was up.
Owens.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he was up
nailed
there
it.
like,
He was
oh my
great.
God, this is like really pathetic. I mean, in so many words, and paraphrasing, whatever.
Well,
He was like, this is pathetic.
it's like what Nationwide said. It's not. It's not. Nobody's clamoring for this. It's
No,
being pushed. You know.
No, look,
right,
Burgess said, he said,
Right.
slavery isn't a gene. It's our actions and beliefs. It
Mm-hmm.
points at one race as the racists and the others
Yes.
as the beggars.
Yes. What he said was very powerful. It was awesome.
I mean, that was beautiful. I mean, because I mean, whoever are seeking reparations don't understand what that gentleman said.
I wish. Well,
You
yeah, they probably
need
don't even watch it.
Right. You
No.
need you need to stand in line for those reparations. Just like you
Mm.
stand in line generation after generation for your fucking WIC card.
Hey, tell me if y'all
Man.
can hear this.
Nope.
No.
Negative.
No.
Here it comes.
Nope.
All right.
Sorry,
No, and
honey.
look who you had arguing against Burgess Owens. You had that Nashishi Coates guy, or whatever his name is.
Well, he's
So
a
he
race.
said,
He's the new race hustler.
right, but
You
Mm.
know,
Owens
Al
said
Nim is
something.
getting old. That's why Al Nim is not coming out in the streets no more. We need to breed some young race hustlers. That's why
Oh
April
God,
Ryan
there's
and
plenty to
whatever
choose
that
from.
other I forget her name. That's
Right, because
on.
she's not important.
Yeah, but she's on CNN.
The
She's the
one,
black racist.
the one that
Well,
spoke
Light
against
skinned
and
as
said a
hell.
whole bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah,
We're going to
yeah.
start with immigration, start
She's light
exterminating
bright.
illegals. Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
she's light bright and almost white, but yet
Uh,
again, she wants to holler racist. But anyway, her
uh,
well,
those are the new race
hmm
hustlers
what I
because we
was
got to
trying
replace
to
Sharpton
say
them.
was you
So
had Owens
ridiculous.
saying something so powerful, and then you had this idiot Coates saying something like, the matter of reparations is one of making amends in direct address, but it is also a question of citizenship.
Oh
What
my
the fuck
God.
does that even mean?
Right.
Wait
Thank
a minute,
you.
but he's an American citizen.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what does it mean though?
He's
Really?
an American citizen. His great grandfather is probably dead now,
Oh,
which means that his dad is dead, which means that his dad's dad is dead, which means, if you want to take it that way, but hold up, I need to verify your lineage.
well, truth be told, they'd love to do nothing more than blur the lines between citizens and illegals. I
There
mean,
you
they,
go.
they just want it to be non-existent.
Non-existing. So
Now,
Just
wait,
whoever's
open
that's
them
the young man
borders.
y'all were
That
talking
shows
about right there.
it's other.
and and
Wait, I
I
That's the
can't
hope,
young man
see.
you were talking about right there.
Wait, go ahead.
Yes, that's Owens.
Is
yeah,
that Burgess? Yeah.
No, no,
yeah.
no, no. Wait,
No?
No,
wait.
that's
No,
So
that's
Owen.
not
Burgess
Burgess.
That's
That's
the
the
Owens
little
young
kid.
man.
yeah, that's
or Jesse
that's the younger
Owens?
guy. No, I have his name. Coleman Hughes.
Ah,
That's who that
Who
is.
is
That's the
he?
young guy. He's Coleman Hughes.
Yeah.
Click on your icon, nationwide, so the video can stay up.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, I
man.
know that's the problem.
It's okay.
If we all mute, we could probably hear it better.
Nope.
2009, the Senate did the same. Black people don't need another apology. We need safer neighborhoods, better schools. We need a less punitive criminal justice system. We need affordable health care. And none of these things can be achieved through reparations for slavery.
Can y'all hear that?
No.
Nearly everyone close
It's
to me
low.
Slightly.
Yeah, if I really listen.
told me that even though I've only ever voted for Democrats, I'm deep as a Republican, therefore hated by half the country. Others told me that by distancing myself from Republicans, I would end up angering the other half of the
There
country.
you go.
Perfect.
Is that they were both right. That's how suspicious we've become of one another. That's how divided we are as a nation.
What?
If we were to pay reparations today, we would only divide the country further, making it harder to build the political coalitions required to solve the problems facing Black people today. We would insult many Black Americans by putting a price on the suffering of their ancestors. And we would turn the relationship between Black Americans and white Americans from a coalition into a transaction, from a union between citizens into a lawsuit between plaintiffs and defendants.
Mm.
What do y'all think about that right there?
It's a pretty good point.
Amazing.
So, I mean,
I mean,
I
that
haven't really thought about it like that, but it's really true. You can't help
No,
but get resentful at something like this. I mean, my hard-earned money is going to what exactly? No, that's not cool.
Yeah,
no, and
I mean, it'll be just one more spark on what's going to
Yep,
be the fire of a civil war.
that's right. I
right.
agree.
And like he said in the
Anytime in
beginning,
history.
he has always been a Democrat. He's always voted Democrat. And after he made his statement here on the Hill that he was sure they were going to label him as Republican. Do you know what they
Right.
did, that young man? In the news article in the New York Times, they labeled him as Republican. And
Of
then
course they
he's
did. Of course they
Republican
did.
Coleman Hughes
Of course they,
because it went
man.
against their narrative.
This is what they did the last time on the, what are they called across the bottom? I can't think of the name. They did this to who was that? They put Republican across the bottom. It's a trick of theirs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's such bullshit.
All right, I'm gonna try and play a little bit more.
Okay.
What we should do is pay reparations to Black Americans who actually grew up under Jim Crow and were directly harmed by second-class citizenship, people like my grandparents. But paying reparations to all descendants of slaves is a mistake. Take me, for example. I was born 3 decades after the end of Jim Crow into a privileged household in the suburbs. I attend an Ivy League school. Yet I'm also descended from slaves who worked on Thomas Jefferson's Monticello plantation. So reparations for slavery would allocate federal resources to me, but not to an American with the wrong ancestry, even if that person is living paycheck to paycheck and working multiple jobs to support a family. I call that justice. I call it justice for the dead at the price of justice for the living.
What y'all think?
Oh, the whole concept of justice in this country, it won't, it's a two-tier justice system until Clinton gets hers. And I hope to God that happens. It's hard for me to even
Yes,
listen to
Lord.
that.
Yes, Lord. The deep state
You
is gonna
know,
get there soon.
I hope so.
The
just
powers that
like John McCain, Songbird McCain.
Ugh,
I
ugh.
don't think she's going
Oh,
to get hers before the law. I
yeah,
think she's going to get hers by
I hope
disease.
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Well, Bill and
She's
Hillary
gonna
look
get hers
sick.
like McCain got his. McCain
Good.
knew he had to go because of all the effed up
McCain's
stuff he's done.
disgusting.
Yeah,
Oh, I was waiting for him to die. I got
Oh
drunk in
yeah,
celebration the day he died.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we fucking partied.
He's disgusting. Glad
He
he's
really
dead.
was. Yeah.
Look, you can't get me to. I love our military. Everybody that served our I mean, I'm a huge fan. Just because that man served military doesn't mean that he has my respect. He's a
He
disgusting human.
no, he was a
every
traitor and
problem
Yes,
that
he
he
was.
uses as his strength when he spoke was actually his weakness. He
Mm-hmm.
caused
He wasn't a
the reason
POW.
he became a POW and then a
Yeah.
traitor was all because he did shit he
Or
was
he
not
sang
supposed to
like a
be doing.
bitch instantly.
yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that
I
young
mean,
man,
Yeah.
that young man called it out. It's
yeah,
like
Yes, he
it's
did.
like he. I don't know who prepared his speech for him.
maybe he did.
Maybe he did. I'll give him the credit of actually preparing his speech,
Yeah.
but he
Sounds like
spoke
his family lived it.
he spoke on point
He
to
did.
the fact that no, you wanna all of a sudden now in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
not all of a sudden now, but you know,
It
after
feels that way. It really
yeah,
does.
after you've tried every other
Mm-hmm.
tactic to keep the black folks on the plantation of the
Uh-huh.
Democratic Party, now all of a sudden your last ditch effort, your one of your emergency ditch efforts is, oh,
Yeah,
let's
break
offer them
glass in case
reparations.
of.
Yeah, let's
Uh-huh.
offer them reparations. They'll stay. So therefore we'll bring some people up here, and there was a couple of folks that they should not have brought. He was one of them.
Yeah.
They
Well, I'm
shouldn't
glad
have
they
brought him
did.
because it's like, dude, what the hell? We don't
But
need your money. What we do is need you to clean up these damn democratically ran cities.
oh
Well,
Lord.
I'm about to play Burgess now.
Oh
So,
good. He was that.
so
I
let's go
liked
ahead,
that last guy a lot. I didn't
let's
hear
go
that
ahead
before.
and
Yeah,
check out what Burgess said.
yeah, Burgess is strong
And
too.
Yeah.
what I want to do is I want to go ahead and play him through, and then we're going to go ahead and comment after he's done.
Okay.
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 No, I know that it was.
Low hurricane blows. Mr. Owens, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm going to take a different tack from the beginning. We are at this point, this is not about black and white, rich and poor, blue collar, white collar. We're fighting for the heart and soul of our nation. We have a very, very special country that's called the Judeo-Christian values that allowed every single generation to become better than the last. And that has not ended, it has not stopped until now. We're telling our kids a little bit something different, that they don't have the opportunities that we have. I'm going to talk about some ideologies. When I talk about them, I'm not talking about people. People change. I used to be a Democrat. So I did my history and found out the misery that that party brought to my race. So when I talk about these ideologies don't change, people do. We're fighting for the heart and soul of our nation against socialism, Marxism, the evil that it has brought to us, and the stealing of our history. Karl Marx said it best. The father of socialism, an atheist, anti-Semite, and a blatant racist. Yet we teach philosophy in our school systems today. He said it. The first battleground is rewriting our history. You steal our history, you steal our pride in our past, our appreciation for our present, and our vision for our future. And every single urban city in our country is now experiencing that loss. Real quick history, because these things we're not taught. I'm blessed to be the great-great-grandfather of Silas Burgess. Came here and built a slave ship. Sold in Charleston, South Carolina with his mother to the Burgess plantation. An evil, evil man that drove my great-great-great-grandmother either to leaving her family, her kids, or committing suicide. I don't know, she disappeared. The South at age of eight, was blessed to be surrounded by men who believed in freedom. Even though they were shackled, they escaped. They went the southern route of the Underground Railroad, facilitated by white and Mexican Americans. And he's made his way out south to Texas, ended up being a successful entrepreneur on 102 acres of land, paid off in 2 years. Started the first black church, first black elementary school, filled his community, 18 kids, Christian, Republican. His first son was Alpha Omega. Proud American, an example of what happens when any race, any culture is given hope, opportunity, and freedom. It didn't end there, by the way. The history of our black country, of our black America, has been stolen from us for decades, almost over a century. Booker T. Washington, 1882, began Tuskegee University. By 1905, it was producing more self-made black millionaires than Harvard, Yale, and Princeton combined. The 40s, 50s, and 60s, it was a black community that led our country in the growth of the middle class. Led our country in terms of men committed to marriage, over 70%, now it's 30%. Led our country in terms of men committed to business ownership, 40%, now it's 3.8%. Men matriculating, you now have a high percentage of men incarcerated in college. It is, by the way, my degree was biology. And that, I learned a long time ago that slavery is not a gene in the DNA helix. It's our actions, it's our attitude, it's our belief. I do not believe in reparation. What reparation does, it points to a certain race, a certain color, and it points them as evil, and points the other race, my race, as one that is not only becomes racist, but also beggars. I do believe in restitution. Let's point to the party that was part of slavery, KKK, Jim Crow, that has killed over 40% of our black babies, 20 million of them. State of California, 75% of our black boys cannot pass standard reading and writing tests, a democratic state. Well, yes, let's play restoration. Let's play restitution. How about a Democratic Party pay for all the misery brought to my race? And those, after we learn our history, decide to stay there, they should pay off, so they're complicit. And every white American, Republican or Democrat, that feels guilty because of your white skin, you should need to pony up also. That way we get past this reparation and recognize that this country has given us greatness. Look at this panel. It doesn't matter how we think. The fact is, what doesn't matter our color. We have become successful in this country like no other because of this great opportunity to live the American dream. Let's not steal that from our kids by telling them they can't do it. Thank you.
Our next witness will be the Right Reverend Eugene Taylor Sutton. He's Bishop of the Episcopal Diocese.
So, I only heard like the first minute and a half of his.
Yeah.
Actually, like surfing the internet when I came across it.
It's all right. I was zoned out. It's fine.
So, man, what did y'all hear in there?
The sound bite, I think that's the best part of what he said. But I like the other guys a little better. I know it's not a competition. I hadn't heard the other guys, and I feel like it was a bit stronger.
Right. Well, I mean, as far as
I liked his too, though. I mean, it's just he's right. It's not. It's a mindset. It's not handed down. It's not genetic. You know, like. But I want to know. I guess where my head has moved to is who's watching this. The people that probably need to hear these opinions the most. I just get the feeling that they're not tuned in.
right.
Maybe they are. I hope I'm wrong.
I mean, I loved what I heard there because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if listen to it, I mean, it mirrors kind of what Tony said.
Yeah.
You know, the only reparation that I truly needed was the fact that motherfuckers call me a nerd.
Well, and he makes a really valid point.
I'm considered a nerd because I know shit.
Well,
And it's not white people that call me a nerd. It's other black people that look like me because I know shit.
I just feel like maybe some of it is we're listening because we think for ourselves, we believe in the individual, all of that great stuff. But those that are still part of that collective mindset probably aren't listening. And I hope I'm wrong about that. I really do.
Right.
No, and if they're listening, they're not truly listening with ears open and actually ingesting what's actually being said.
Yeah, you can hear without listening. That's true.
I have no guilt for my skin color, so so we're good. I agree with the man. It's not like, life has been easy, and I wonder sometimes if people think that just because, I'm a white girl, is it easy? The hell it is.
Yeah, that's my biggest issue, white guilt. I'm tired.
I don't have it.
Don't feel guilty.
I don't have it.
You did nothing to me. What do you have?
Right.
Fuck
right.
that.
Well, I'm not going to be, mind fucked into it either. It's just it's foolish. It's foolish.
Right.
I don't even believe anymore in the construct of race outside of the human race.
Right.
Okay. Here's the thing. If you were to have the ability to go back 100,000 years, yes, there were people alive 100,000 years ago. I guarantee you that my ancestors were more than likely that far back or even further back to the dawn of humanity, not the same skin tone that I currently am now. And I bet that could be said about anyone of any quote unquote race based on skin color.
Oh, John,
which is a
here we
silly
go.
thing because it's culture to me that is the more determining factor.
And I would like to give a thank you to Tony Hogan and Kabuto Dragon for donating. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Why are you making us look bad, Tony? Yeah. The shit.
Teacher's pet.
Right? That's not cool.
But in addition to to that point, the whole thing, people say, okay, well, there are races. I say, okay, what are they? They go, well, there's black. And I go, okay, before you go on, let's dive into this. Okay, if I were to take and look at they're if I were to take and look let's just say just in Africa, not even counting America, because America is the melting pot.
Right.
If I were to look
Yeah.
just in Africa, where the majority of quote unquote black people originate from, then I'll find what are called Nilotes. They're about 6 to 7 feet tall and skinny and run really fast. Then I'll find, your that's the only one I remember the actual correct name for. Okay, hold on. The Zulus. They
Right.
look totally different in the face. They have a different skin tone. Yeah, they're all quote unquote black, but these
Right.
Nilotes, the real tall, skinny ones, they are darker than ebony. They are literally as black as tires. They are not
Right.
brown. They're not chocolate. They are black. And then you take you know, Egyptians are actually African. They're on the African continent, and they look more Arabian almost.
Right.
You know,
They're more caramel colored.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, exactly.
hold on.
And
Okay.
these are
Egyptians
all
get that
African.
Arabian color because of the Byzantine Empire,
Yes,
essentially the
yes,
invasion. But
yes.
original
That's yeah.
Egyptians, no.
And the original Egyptians, according to some of the statues and things that I've seen from certain periods, now there's a distinct split between the royal Egyptians. They had very, shall we say, European features.
Yeah, red
And
hair,
then
blue
and
eyes.
yeah, and then the commoners, the majority in the region being ruled over by these people, which were of a different tone than them. But I mean, really, they were all African. But like I said, but going down to sub-Saharan Africa, even if we cut it off at the Sahara and say sub-Saharan African, okay, I can get with you on that. But okay, you've got these Nilotes that are jet black. Then you've got these more medium, quote unquote, black, more medium tone people over here and there, whether it's Nigeria or whatever. And then you've got and they all have different facial structures, different
Right.
noses,
Their
different
skull
ears.
composition is different.
Right.
Yes, they all. So you can't actually tell me, oh, they're black. Can't you see? No, I wasn't. No, I don't. No, I can't see. If you
Yeah.
can't literally point out things that are the same across, and then okay, this is the funniest one to me because I happen to be white. The white race. I'm just saying that it's funny, but the white race. Okay, like okay. Hold on. You've got this apparently, depending on the time frame you're at some point in time, that did not include Italians or Irish.
Hey now.
Oh,
Hey now.
yeah. At some point in time, it was only Anglo-Saxons and maybe Germans, maybe.
Well,
And that depends on the
Nationwide
time
tells me
frame.
I'm the blackest white girl because I'm Italian. Those are his words.
Yeah, I'm Italian too.
That's what he said.
But
I'm just
okay,
cracking jokes. You're getting all serious
Yeah.
on me, John.
but okay, so the white race. Okay, well, and to be honest, most of us are mutts now, mixed with Native American and all these other So that's
Yeah.
almost a
Except
moot
for
point
Elizabeth
just in
Warren.
that, huh?
Except for Elizabeth Warren.
Well, John,
No.
essentially all those changes in people came from adaptations to their
Sure.
environment.
Environment,
Climate,
yes,
and yeah,
yes.
of course.
And so that's why I take that
necessary.
argument I just made and how you elaborated on this, sum that up. And I go back to, okay, so it's culture then. If I say someone's acting like the total Jew that they are, maybe it's a certain cultural trait that they're exhibiting. Like
Possible.
how they define honor, how they define respect, whether it's
Okay.
the ghetto culture or, because there are white people that grew up in the ghetto that are just as much of the quote unquote black culture without being skin tone black
Yep.
than just like there are a lot of black people who were raised in quote unquote white culture, more conservative culture,
Right.
that are more reasonable.
It's a good point.
It's called
it
being a
all comes from
product of your environment.
Yes, it
yes.
is. Nature
now.
versus nurture.
Think about the rap culture and the hip
Culture.
the rap hip hop culture now.
Yes.
Right now,
Mhm.
it's literally designed to go after everybody. I mean,
Mhm.
no matter what type of movie
Yeah.
you're watching, you're going to hear Nicki Minaj in the
Ugh,
Yeah.
soundtrack.
gross.
She can have nothing. I mean, her type of music can have nothing to
In
do
a,
with the movie.
She
But
offers nothing to the
song
world.
somewhere in the soundtrack, because what they're doing is they're trying to get everybody
it
with,
applies to your base instincts.
and
The things that they say
Mm.
out, or
it's
I'm
so
using the same words.
Desensitized,
It applies.
desensitization to all of this
Yeah.
fuckery that's going on.
And
right,
it
The
applies to the
fuckery.
base instincts. It's all about
it's
fucking and
self-destructive.
killing and gotta get
Well,
mine and fuck you and
yeah.
all this. And it sells really well across quote
Does
Since
it?
unquote races or cultures.
since we going this route,
Uh-huh.
NWA.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay. Jerry
Oh shit.
Jerry Jerry Haller. He steered them boys into gangster rap.
right,
If
Well,
if you would
oh, I have a question.
you may can find some NWA stuff, underground stuff.
right,
You
I have a
know, it
question.
wasn't okay. It wasn't selling. It wasn't selling. Their underground stuff, it wasn't selling.
right,
Jerry Haller got a hold of him and say, you got to
Market.
be rebellious. You got to do this. You got to do that. That's
right,
when Easy E and them went all off and like fuck the police. Got all this and that. It was to conquer and divide.
right,
Yes.
That
Okay,
was the
so
main purpose of that, and that's why all of this, quote unquote, look back at video documentaries of Tupac.
he was a
Tupac,
ballerina.
right,
right? Tupac used to rap about real shit until his
Went to
manager said this is label said this ain't selling, dude.
Well, he did a role on in because he went to the School of Performing Arts. I forget
Right?
which one,
He
but he
he
played
was
a
a
role
professional.
in a play of a
Yeah,
thug, and he never really went back.
right.
right.
He
It's
lived that
sold.
role.
It's
Yeah.
sold, and
Everybody
it
will tell
got
you
his
that,
and in
everybody will tell you that
marketability.
Tupac was a studio gangster, though.
Yeah, he
He
was.
wasn't a real gangster. He was always labeled as a studio gangster.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. No, Tupac was.
Yeah, he wasn't.
No, Tupac
He was a
wasn't a.
ballerina. Like
He
he was a
wasn't a
sweet
gangster.
thing when
He
he was
He
about
wasn't
yeah.
in
17.
the
Tupac
life.
wasn't
Yeah.
a
He
real
wasn't.
gangster.
He wasn't.
No,
He
he
was a
wasn't.
studio gangster.
He grew
Yeah.
up in the life.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Right.
understand
He
this.
no.
He
He grew
grew
up
up in the
around
life.
it. He grew up the thug
No,
life
he
and all of that.
didn't.
But here's the thing: Tupac was steered into that because
Right,
it was selling.
Is
right,
West Side Players even a thing? He
It was.
wasn't beat in by Crip or Blood. You can't
No,
tell me that.
he was steered into that because
He. No, he wasn't.
at that time at that time the doggone record industry said we got to flip the script.
Okay,
Yeah.
can I ask my question? Because you
Okay.
guys might know. So I don't know which group it was, but it was right around that time frame in rap music, and they were told, so they were informed that with the money they were making from the record label, etc., they were it was suggested to them to invest in the private prison system to continue making money. So my question is, I mean, that's just a really fucked up thing on its face, because we all
Oh,
know, like, the incarceration rate is just out of this world. First
yeah.
of
The
all,
prison
but
industrial complex. That's a
yes,
Oh
real
yeah.
thing.
yes, thank you. But so these young men that were, they made it away from prison, but they were instructed and highly suggested to them for profit base to invest their money in the private prison system, and I just feel like that should be very common knowledge, and it's not.
And Jordan, Michael Jordan did
Hold
the
on,
same
Barbie.
thing.
Hold on.
Yeah. So was that Easy E and everybody, or who was that? Because it was early on.
I don't remember who that was, but I do remember hearing this too.
Yes.
I do understand that they want to pay the reparations to those black people in prisons too.
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, let's let them vote too. There's some bad people in prison, you know. There's some innocent people too.
They are
But
trying
you
to let
understand what kind of a
the
war
people
that
in
will
prison
begin
vote.
inside of the prison.
I know.
Here's one of the problems.
The war that's going to start inside of the prisons.
I think that when someone is incarcerated, they should lose all of their rights, just
Thank
like
you.
You do it when you're in the army, but even more.
The Democrats are trying everything.
Then when you get out of prison, you should regain all of your rights.
Exactly.
If you're too shitty to be let out of prison, they shouldn't fucking let you out. And then if you're in, you have nothing, and if you're out, you're a free man.
Yeah, you can regain all that
You can own
stuff.
a gun, you can vote.
Yeah, it's silly that
Either
they
you
don't
paid your
get their
debt or you
rights
didn't.
restored. Right, thank you. That's very true. I agree with that. I'm just curious who it was, and maybe it's something we can look up or look into, but I find it odd that
It's another
these
Democratic
people...
ploy.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting, and I think it should be well known across the board that these young men were pushing the music, pushing the culture, and pushing the other side of that coin, the incarceration.
Well, you
They were
know,
part of it
Michael
all.
Jordan is a large owner in the prison industrial complex,
Really?
right?
Yes, he
Oh,
is.
that makes me sad. I thought Jordan was a good dude.
No. All of them are chasing money.
Yes.
Oh God.
The prison industrial complex is
Yeah, it's a
just as
problem.
bad as the military industrial complex.
Oh,
I wonder
Why
if
you
got
think
numbers on.
they got huge amounts of doggone prisons.
Right.
I wonder if
And most of these states are held accountable to get these prisons, right? Most of these states are held accountable as to where if you do not fill said cells, you have to pay for empty said cells.
Well, that was the push with Biden. Like, Joe Biden was instrumental in implementing Clinton's reform in the 90s. Biden pushed for this.
He was
So
getting
why
paid
isn't
by
that
those
common
people.
knowledge?
No,
You know?
because it's a
It
Democrat.
needs to
Remember
be.
that. Remember
I don't
that.
care.
No.
Nobody talks about creepy Uncle Joe.
But what I'm saying, no, it's not about Joe. It's about
It's our
his
job.
party. It's about his
It's our
party.
job, though.
They do not expose Democrats on
Well,
mainstream media.
No, they don't. What they do is the what is it called? The Republican pounce. Okay, so
Yeah,
the story is
but
about the Democrats, what they did.
right.
That should be the story, but that's never the story. Look for it. You'll be able.
Yeah,
You
if
won't be
you
able to unsee it.
yeah,
So
if
it's
you
always
look
about what the Republicans' reaction was. Even though the Democrats did the fucked up thing, the story is always how the Republicans reacted.
You know,
right.
though,
If you look out there, there is literature and videos and stuff about, what the Democrats have done, but people are too stupid. I'm gonna call it. People are too stupid and retarded in a sense of intelligence as to where, okay, I've been hearing this all my life. Let me and then but I've been hearing from this other side that it's not true, but why am I still angry?
Right.
That's the thing. I'm
That's
angry.
emotion. Yeah.
Right,
A lot of
emotion.
emotion.
Democrats, liberal, run on emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Get the facts. That was me. That was me before.
Yeah,
That
I
was me
agree.
while I was on active duty. I spent 24 years in the military.
Good.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank you for your service.
thank you. And my thing was, my thought process was, I don't give a fuck who's at 16 Pennsylvania Avenue. That's my boss.
Oh, my husband did. He very much cared.
Yeah, that
They
was
were
my
not
boss.
having it.
Whoever was in there, whether it was a Republican or Democrat, that was my
Yeah.
boss because I swore to that oath to uphold
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constitution,
You don't have to like your boss. You just have to
right?
do what
Right.
it says.
You have
Yeah.
to respect
Right.
the
Yeah.
office of the
Yeah.
President of the United States.
Yep.
Well,
But
that's
tell
what
me
my
when the
husband
hell
believed
that
too.
changed, though.
But
Tell me
you
when the
know,
hell that changed.
It changed on Obama is when it changed.
You
yeah.
have never been able to speak about a president openly the way you speak about Trump. I
Thank you.
don't give a damn whether you like him or not. You have never been able
Very
to speak
right.
about a president in
No.
There was no respect
there
for the
was
No,
no
office.
way possible.
You don't
No.
just
like
look at
him?
the open death
Well,
threats. The
Yeah.
open
Oh
death
God,
O-
it's
threats on the
disgusting.
Obama
president.
From
has
the
to destroy
Democrats.
Disgusting.
that.
It's like I don't care if you don't like him. Respect the
That's
office
right.
of the
Right.
President of the United
How do we
States.
reinstill that? That's the
But
thing.
at this
No,
point,
you can't because the mainstream media will not allow that.
Well, it doesn't matter.
at
We are the country. We are the people. So it is up to us.
Well,
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
it
not
is.
willing
at
to
this
say
point, the
that, oh, it's
office of
all over. No, it's
president.
not.
How many
At this
people
point,
will listen to us and how many people will listen to the
They
mainstream
will.
media?
No, they will. We just have to make it a very concerted effort. Look at how many things go grassroots. So many things.
True.
I'm just not willing
well,
to.
a lot of things also get squashed by
Sure.
COINTELPRO and shit like that.
Of
You
course.
know,
Of course.
both. I'm a libertarian. I think both parties are shit. One has become
Agreed.
slightly more shit than the other one, and the office of the president at this point today, either A, we haven't had anybody in that's intelligent and unbiased enough, and probably never will. Because if to
Right.
get to that level, you have to be pretty fucking crooked. That's why, like Ron Paul will never be president. It'll
Yeah.
never happen because he's just. I mean, his son knows how to play ball a little better than he does. He don't. He is all about his integrity for the most part, and you know he won't bend on things that are important to him, which
Well,
is
but they're
something I'd like to see in there. But
yeah.
because of that, he won't ever get to that point.
Well, they're
But the
threatening enough to
president
hurt
now,
them.
I
Get in the
mean,
hospital. It's
It's the
either
deep
ridiculous.
state.
A
It's the deep
either
state.
A, the president's
Right.
malicious, or
Oh
B,
God.
the president listens and believes in bad intel. One of the two.
I don't know.
It's the deep
I don't
state.
think we've seen it all yet.
Okay,
I really
look.
don't.
The problem is it won't change because people have become complacent.
Yes.
They don't want to face a problem until the problem is out of hand.
Look,
And
Well,
when the
it's the
look
whole
how,
problem is
not my
out of hand, it's
backyard
on the
look how
syndrome.
verge
easy
of
it was to distract
Yeah.
people with reparations.
Yeah.
Look how easy it was to distract people
Of
with.
course. Of course, but we can move. This panel alone shows that there are a lot of brilliant minds that can move away from what, the mainstream media, the narrative, the push. So you get little pockets of groups like this, and they can't take everyone down. It
Right.
doesn't have to be one big collective. Better it not be actually. But if it is, small pockets of 10 or 12 people that can research and rely on each other, put their best, foot forward, their best skill set forward, we have a fighting chance. There's no other way to do it.
I mean, because I put it like this. Yeah, this was a small video. Yeah, I didn't have very many people come in. But there's going to be people that's going to look at this video and actually, hopefully, just listen to it and learn something.
Hopefully.
Because again, uh, this reparations thing is just another. I mean, again, for me, my final thought about it, it's either take this money or get replaced
Yeah.
by what's coming through the board.
Or take this
That's
money and get replaced by what's coming through the board.
what right?
No, hell
Thank
no,
you.
because
Yeah,
no,
yes. Oh man, you
no.
can't trust these
Democrats
They are
push.
people.
not going. They are
You
not
can't
going to give
trust
us
these
that goddamn
people.
money. If our vote don't matter, they ain't going to give us that goddamn
They're
money.
they're never going to give it anyway.
No,
Exactly.
It's not what it's for.
no. That's it.
My talking
You got to
point.
look at the timing. Look at the timing.
I did look. I know you heard my thoughts
The
on this. Like
timing
it is to nail the
right now, the
Republicans.
timing literally is take this money or get replaced.
But here it
Your
is,
choice is
nationwide.
right there.
You're going to get
Nationwide, here it
replaced
is.
anyway.
Here it is. You have these pockets of people, they walking down the road and all of a sudden somebody say, free money. And they look back. They looking back because now, there was nothing else. They were holding on to the Russian collusion thing. They was holding on to that, right? And they were
Such a
there in
crock
the
of shit.
stadium. Yeah, they were clapping. It was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And all of a sudden, their head guy, Mueller, said there was no Russian
Oh,
collusion.
he's so
So
corrupt. Oh my
right, right,
god.
he is. So all of a
Right.
sudden they start walking down that dirt road, right? Wade in the water. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, we losing the black vote. Oh goddamn. Reparations! Reparations!
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So and then you know how it is when you like you you break up with your girl and shit, and it's like she walking out the door like,
Got
baby,
somebody fly.
like baby, come back. And then she turns around, looks over her shoulder, and that's when you holler reparations. And then it's like you
Mm.
see the gleam in their eye, and they coming back. Oh shit, we getting free money, y'all.
Man,
We getting
Oh,
free
no.
yeah.
money.
It's
That's
nothing's free.
exactly
Ugh.
no. What I'm saying is, I understand that nothing is
Yeah.
free, but I'm a Democrat. I need votes, so therefore I need to keep what I got. So I'm gonna offer you reparations. I ain't gonna tell
Right.
you how you gonna get it. I'm not going that far because you're too stupid to ask me, well, how are you going to pay for this? You're too
Right.
stupid for that. So therefore, I'm going to tell you I'm going to give you reparations. I'm going to think about
Shit.
it. So therefore,
Right.
I got your attention. I got
Right.
Stupid
your
or
attention.
lazy?
No, because
Man,
that's
Barbara.
lazy. That's lazy because
Too
you're waiting.
lazy to look it up?
Thank you. I
That's
got
lazy
your
because
attention. That's all I
you're waiting
need.
on a hope.
That's all I
That's a
need.
hope.
There you
That's a
go. Hope
hope.
And
change.
that's a
Hope
false
change.
hope.
I got your attention.
Yeah.
Reparations. I got your attention. That's something
Uh,
that we kept in the back burner that we didn't pull out until now because we were hoping that the Mueller report would come out and say, oh, he colluded this, he colluded that and that,
Well,
but it didn't happen. So
yeah,
therefore,
well, there had
I
to be
got to keep it
collusion
well,
for that to be
real to you
true.
guys. So
12
therefore,
years.
I'll
Well,
holler reparations.
12
So
years.
you're going to stick around now for the reparation thing because that's all that's going to be on the news for the rest of the moment.
Right.
Uh,
well, you got to think also, how often are any of these politicians held accountable for
never,
unfulfilled promises?
never. Only the president. Only President Trump.
Yeah,
Because we never held any other president accountable either.
Right.
And he
So
was
none.
there's
held
no
accountable for
danger. There's no danger in them
promises
promising something
Obama
and not
made.
fulfilling it.
That's right. Well, that's what I was saying in the beginning. They're not
Yeah.
going to fulfill it. It's going to,
No, it's to
bomb in the
keep.
House, and then
It's to
that's their talking point.
is to keep
Boom.
what little base that they have left of
Yeah.
that 15% of the
Well,
black vote.
yeah, and
Right.
it's to make us
They
look like the
they've
bad guys.
lost about six, maybe 5 or 6, 7% of that 15%. They need to keep on. That's why they're fighting so hard not to
Hmm.
support the money for the border. Now,
That's
the
right.
Right.
president is
We'll just
totally
raise it
legal.
ourselves.
The president
Yeah,
is
that
totally legal of what he's attempting to do. I Presidents have been doing it for years.
Right.
Okay, military, you got all
That's
of this
right.
money. You're
Well,
not
the
using
military's
it,
fucking up.
so therefore I'm going to take some of that money. Um, you know, the con the this section, you're not using all of that money, so I'm gonna allocate some of this money for
Right. Well,
here.
that's what the omnibus bill was, and everybody,
Right.
including myself, was just like, "Oh shit, we got to get this under control." But he saw ahead and knew that this was coming, so he put money in there for the
Exactly.
engineer department, the military.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh my God,
the
what is?
military
Well, they're
is
fucking
taken
up.
care of.
That's the thing.
Or,
No, they're
yeah.
not.
Right.
They're fucking up.
Well,
The Corps of
no, they are
Engineers. Yeah,
fucking
that's
up.
right. They are
The
fucking
Corps
up big
engineers are
time.
fucking up. But I think what he's trying to
They're
gather
acting
money
like
for,
pussies, is what they're doing.
right?
But Q
What
is a
Fuckers.
LARP
he's
still.
trying to gather money for the guys that are actually building the wall. That's my thought. He's trying to get that 4.5 billion dollars to
Well, that
give
guy's
to
incredible, though.
to
That guy
give to
that's raising
the
all that
build
money.
the wall guys, so he
Oh
say,
yeah, that
here,
tent.
you're my contractor, you're my United States contractor, you're doing a great job, here's more money, keep doing what you're doing, and I'm gonna run the country. How about that?
Right.
okay. Well,
Well,
I do
just
want to say something on what you just said about the reason why they're fighting so hard against it. Another reason why is because they don't want it to be another promise fulfilled, because Trump has,
Yeah.
out of all the
Yeah.
more recent presidents, he has fulfilled more campaign promises than any president in recent history. And if he gets the money to build this wall, that's another promise fulfilled on the campaign trail.
And that's just
Well, and he
more
sidestepped
folks
them.
leaving the doggone Democratic Party.
Well, no reasonable person can look at that border and say that what's happening is okay. It's not okay.
But no,
The
but
people that
no.
don't see it are the people that are again, like I said earlier. If you really just break it down and think about it, because again, we're only 12% of the population, and most of us, like what, 7% of us are women, and supposedly what, 3% of us are in prison. So that leaves what, 3% of men out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're worried about black men's vote because that's 3% that's been going towards Trump.
Right.
Oh,
Because
and you're
if y'all
forgetting,
remember who got the
if you're
popular vote with black, it was the black women who were going Democrat. Now
Yeah.
you got like Diamond and Silk and all these other literal conservative women coming out, dragging other black women over to the conservative side.
Making
They
it
really
cool to
see
be
that damage. They
conservative.
see it.
Yeah.
So
How the hell are
well,
we the rebels?
either
what
take
you're
Conservatives.
this
forgetting to
money
add to
or
that
you're getting
nationwide,
replaced.
what you're forgetting to add to that, you said 3% in prison, but you also got to add the percentage that are just convicted felons and can't vote. They're not
It's
Yeah.
actually in prison, but they're convicted felons and
They're
cannot
convicted
vote.
felons. Yeah.
Right. I
yeah.
mean,
And
y'all gotta
and
understand
not
when
too
it
many
comes
states have voted, have put in, have made, you know,
Working felons can
laws,
vote after they
as
get
to
out.
where,
Yeah.
okay, you have
Yep.
paid back society, so therefore you get your voting rights back. Not many
Right.
states have came out and done that.
right,
Nope.
right.
So that it's a larger percentage than what you're actually thinking.
So y'all
But
gotta
hold up,
understand the
we don't.
percentage that they're using when they say black male vote. Do you understand how small of a group of people are even voting?
But here's the thing,
Yeah.
And then
we
they're just
just
the ones
discovered.
showing up and not showing up to the polls.
Yeah, we just
Those are the
we
ones who
just
had their vote.
we just came on to something. The black male that has been incarcerated, served their time, but uneligible to vote. That's the Democrats' next move to restoring their voting rights.
Well,
Well,
I'd
yeah,
actually
they're
be
trying
for
that now.
that.
They're trying to make it where actual prisoners. They're trying to pass a bill
Oh
where
yeah, that's right.
actual
That's
That's
right. They
right.
prisoners
are.
can
They
vote.
are non. What's that?
Non-violent.
Yeah, non-violent prisoners. Yeah,
Yep.
they're doing that. But I'm talking about the guys who actually serve their time. That's out in the
Right. I
streets
know.
now,
Right.
not the ones that are incarcerated.
Right. Just
I'm
because they are a convicted felon, they're
right.
free. They serve their time.
They're gonna use that now. It's like, okay, Pookie can vote now. Pookie did his nickel up there in Juliet. So
Yeah.
Nope. And
Pookie
think about it.
served his nickel in Juliet. So therefore,
Who
hey,
put those laws into place? It was Clinton.
Democrats,
It
Democrats.
was Clinton that did that.
Hey, deplorable.
Hey
Demon
guys.
rats. Hey, deplorable.
Hi. So y'all talking about the First Step Act?
We're talking about anything that's related to this reparations thing, and that
Yeah.
comes in because the reparations is again it's a democratic deflection away from that. They're literally
Okay, well tell me this.
from
If they're
approaching
gonna do
anything
reparations,
with this.
they would have to DNA test every single person in the United States to find out if they're a descendant of a slave
That's
or
what
a
I
slave
said.
owner. Do you realize how much money that would cost?
Do you realize how much
Amen.
information that is
Never
turned
hate.
over?
Oh wait,
That's
Too
sorry.
much money.
disgusting.
Too much money.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a
But they
lot
want
of
to sidestep
private
that.
info.
Just
It's
It's
not
blast it
just a
feasible.
away.
distraction.
And then what
Yeah.
about mixed people? Do they pay? Do they receive?
They
You
gotta pay
know?
themselves.
No, no.
And
The
also
mixed
what
folks,
George
the
was
mixed
saying
folks
right
will
there,
get
and what
14. The
also what
mixed folks will
George was
get
saying right
one
there.
thousand
Getting away
four hundred and two
He
dollars
got the
and
money.
60 cents. Yeah.
no,
That's what the mixed folks will get.
Or what
You
if
ain't getting the
someone
full
that has a
2,800.
descendant of both?
You ain't
You
getting
know,
the
what
full
What is the percentage?
$2,875. No, you getting $1,402.
What is
That's
the
what you mixed
qualifying
folks get.
percentage? Who determines the qualifying percentage?
Come on now. Come on,
it's
nationwide.
not feasible. It's really not.
Right. You already know that you and I and everybody else on this panel already know that, like I said, we're that it's that breakup phase. We're that ex-girlfriend walking towards the door, and then all of a sudden, you as a Democrat, baby, I love you. And
Right.
then you turn
Shit.
your head to look back at to see the expression. That's what the Democrats are doing. You know,
It's
black folks
pandering.
were walking out of the door, walking down that road, and they say, I love you. I give you reparations. And then they look back. Oh shit. Free money.
And then not even that. What about the Native Americans? You know, then what? We
Right.
have to pay them next?
Right.
Well, we already paying them.
Yeah, the Native
Yeah, they have
Americans were given
casinos
their
and
land. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
they're
well,
they're
the Native
authorized
Americans,
to
they
set up
got to,
if they would
reservations.
have done reparations a little after they ended slavery, it would have made sense.
It
But
would have
it's
made.
been too long. Too many people have mixed together.
It doesn't make
It would
any
cost,
sense.
yeah, it would cost too much money. Now, if it would be like 5 years or 10 years after, I would be like, hell yeah, you know, or at least in a lifetime or two, you know, something like that. But this long, it, I mean, I don't see how they could do that without costing billions.
It's
No,
Like I
the
said,
people
nonsensical.
who
like I
suffered
was,
it are still alive.
yeah,
That's
like
when
I
I
was
will be okay with it.
like I
But
was saying, I
none of them
already
are alive.
already got my reparations.
Mm.
You know,
yeah,
they allow me to spend 24 years in the military, and then there's my reparation right there, reaping the
I spent
benefits
my
of a
years
of a
in the
veteran.
military. I spent mine in
And
the military.
Yeah,
So, and,
I'll see it like
when I
that.
let's
got
not
hurt, I
let's
got
not
kicked out.
forget.
Was that?
Let's not forget when slavery was ended, the government offered them a whole country in Africa. Was willing to let them give them a whole country in Africa, and they did not want it. They wanted to stay here.
Right.
They
They
chose to
know this
stay
is not
here.
going to get anywhere. It's pandering. That's all they're doing. Because what else do they have besides reparations and impeaching Trump? What else, honestly, do they have?
The stupid, idiot, retarded, ignorant black folks that are actually listening to this rhetoric. That's what they got.
Right.
That's it. I'm gonna call it. I'm a black man. I'm gonna call it. The Negroes that are listening to this bullshit about reparation, you are stupid as
Because they've
fucking
been
hell.
programmed to be a perpetual victim since probably the time they
Exactly.
were born. Some
Exactly.
people
Be-
can't get out
yeah.
of that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. Yes,
Oh,
they
I know
can.
they can. I did. I did. I
They
grew
can.
up in the projects. Half the time we didn't have water. I grew up on ramen noodles with no water, where
Wait a minute.
we
Wait a
would
minute.
have to
Hold up.
put the
Hold up.
packet sprinkled.
You.
Like,
Wait a minute.
believe
You.
me, I know.
You grew up on ramen noodles. I grew up on sugar sandwiches.
Man,
Mm.
I grew up.
Okay.
I grew up on doggone sugar sandwiches,
So you
syrup
syrup
know too.
sandwiches
Then
when we didn't have sugar.
syrup
I had a
sandwich,
piece of bread, syrup sandwiches. Yes,
shit.
Oh,
we didn't
yes.
even have no bologna,
But I think what
No,
that
no
is,
baloney.
but
we're the
No.
exception. We're
we
not the rule.
persevered. We
Mustard
persevered.
sandwiches.
You know, but it's like it's this entitlement millennial mentality. We will exploit the men. We will exploit the millennials because they know no better. So therefore, we'll tell them they've been indoctrinated in high school, grade school, and college about reparations.
I can definitely attest to that because I'm a millennial, and
Right.
in my 20s, I was more, like to the left.
Yeah. So
Like
therefore,
I thought that people having so much money was wrong. Like you should only be able to have a certain amount of money, and then you have to give it away,
right. So
right?
therefore, we
That's
we
absurd.
we've indoctrinated them. So they pulled this out from time to time. Notice that you ain't heard shit about reparations since before Obama.
Right.
before Obama. So therefore,
10 years. It's been 10
right.
years
So
since the last
therefore,
hearing.
right. So therefore, the blacks now are starting to wake up. So we got Orange Man bad in the White House. So let's exploit this. Let's do this thing. Well, Clinton said she was going to do. Clinton Obama was going to set this up as to where it'll be perpetual, as to where we'll keep shit in the shit. But no, shit changed. A lot of people actually started thinking for themselves. Let's vote him in.
Well,
Now,
let's think.
now the plan didn't work, so therefore we'll work on this doggone. We'll set him up. No, you couldn't
Right.
set him up because he didn't do shit. You
Right.
can't set a person up if the person don't do nothing. Now, if he'd have took the bait to do something, then you had him.
Right.
Like Clinton.
Who
Clinton
would
was
have
set
thought
up.
carrying hot sauce in your purse and
Right.
calling
Oh,
black people
come.
super predators wouldn't get you
Thank
elected, right?
No, exactly.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Exactly. So therefore, it's like you can't set him up because he didn't do nothing to be set up for, but you have a base that will listen to anything you say because Orange Man bad. So
Right.
therefore, Mr. Mueller said, even though Mueller
Mm,
didn't like his ass, Mueller said,
mm.
I can't find shit, folks.
He
It's
knew
been
right
two
away.
years. I can't find
He said he
nothing.
can't confirm or deny it, which is his
Right,
job.
He's an
right.
idiot.
If you can't confirm it, and you
You
can't
can't
deny it, then you
you
found
can't deny
nothing.
it. So therefore,
You
I
found
am not
nothing.
It's not.
responsible.
It's no prosecutor's job to exonerate. That's not what they're there to
Thank
Exactly.
you.
do.
Thank you.
Right.
Period.
That's why he said that. But the mainstream media will spin that as to where
Of course
it's
they
messed
will.
up. Yeah, right. So therefore, he can't do nothing. So okay, that plan didn't work. So what we gonna do now? Hey, black folks. Hey, come over here. Reparations. So
Hey,
now,
Nationwide.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to make this too long that you don't get, the views that you want or whatever. So I don't know if you were wrapping up or what. You seem like you were. Sorry.
Oh no, no, no.
Okay.
But
Well,
the sad thing is, the person that's really doing things the most for the Black American community is getting shit on. Do you know how many Black lives that are better? How many kids now have a chance at being a successful adult because now they have both parents home?
Orange
Or
Yeah.
man
even
bad.
one parent home
Orange
from the
man
First Step
bad.
Act. And did y'all know he just passed the Second Step Act? You know what
Yeah,
that is?
yeah,
That focuses on finding gainful employment and transportation.
yes.
Trump even went as far as to make sure these people got rides to go to and from work, to and from the doctor's office, to and from the grocery store when they're released.
But
He even
Man
went that
don't give a
far.
shit.
but
That
deplorable.
man can frickin' find a cure for AIDS and he'll still be
But
Orange Man bad.
deplorable.
Doesn't matter what he does.
Yeah.
Right. Deplorable.
Yeah, for putting
Orange man
doctors out of
bad.
work.
Orange man bad. Orange man bad. I'm gonna keep saying that. Orange man bad.
It
Yes,
literally makes
Same as
no
any
sense.
other
it
president,
doesn't.
And we
you
all
know?
know that minorities are the
Mhm.
ones that are benefiting from this the most because of Clinton's crime bills.
Right.
They were the ones who were incarcerated for stupid, nonsensical, nonviolent crimes. For what, having a little
Yes.
bag of weed, you got 20 years in
Because
jail?
So
because
let
of
me let me ask a
the
question on
prison
like
industrial
this.
complex. I have to fill prisons in
Right.
order for states to not pay. So, therefore, if I want a nice high end prison in my state, I have to make sure that I provide them bodies. So, therefore, hey, you got a joint. That's 20 years, dude. Wait a minute, hold up. I just had it. I didn't smoke it. Oh, it was
Meanwhile,
a
a
new
man
present.
raped an 11-year-old and got off with 4 years
Yeah,
probation in
4 year,
Connecticut,
4 years
right?
probation. Yeah, yeah. No, that's not who we want. We want the Pookies and the Ray Rays that got the weed, not cocaine, not crack.
Right?
We just want you with the weed, the shit that don't even change your fucking
It's
metabolical.
never killed anyone, not weed.
Thank you.
Weed never
Weed
killed a
has
person
never
before.
killed nobody, but you will
it's
take an
legal out here.
alcoholic
It's
that
yeah, it's
killed
everywhere.
Well, you gotta
alcoholic that will
understand.
kill
Usually it's
six
because the
people in a
Well,
car.
Wait, I
Hmm.
can't I can't hear Nationwide. What Nationwide?
it's usually because when it comes to the weed smokers, they're usually still the free thinkers too, though.
True.
Usually when you get
oh,
when you get on those other drugs and you get fucking dependent on those other drugs,
you're a
you
sheep.
become dependent on the government to help you pay for your drug.
Thank
Well,
you.
That's the
darling, then
truth.
my
Crack,
state would be my
cocaine.
state would be
That's
red
an
if that were true
expensive
nationwide.
drug.
My state would be red. But
I'm just
they're not free thinkers. They're fucking morons, okay? Because out
well,
here, weed stores are like liquor stores. Like they're everywhere. You could just walk in, get
Which
what you
that's the
want,
way
walk
they
out.
should be. It should be
It doesn't
regulated the
benefit
same way
anybody.
alcohol
It
is.
doesn't even
No,
matter.
it
Like I
shouldn't be
live it.
regulated at all. It should just be decriminalized
Well, no, but you
completely.
know
Yeah.
that that's not
It
going to happen. We all
but
know that
we didn't
no
see
regulation is
the
never going to happen, though.
we didn't see the
Yeah, the
tax
government wants to
benefits.
stick their
Our
dirty little
schools
fingers
didn't
in
benefit
everything.
from it. It's a big lie. I
And
mean,
you know they
Well,
we
will.
didn't get
that's
So
any of
rather
true.
that.
than it,
That's true. But how many? I mean, I understand what you're talking about. I understand. Yeah, it was set up.
Yeah,
It
we
was
didn't
set
benefit
up
at all from
wrong.
legalizing.
But when they legalize that stuff, how many homicides and mass murders and all of that shit
Well, what
It
it
was
does,
bad.
contributed to
what it
actual marijuana?
opens. Well, I'll tell you
No, it
from
completely went down.
experience. This
Okay.
state that I live in is right behind California. We can't go into Denver. Can't because it's beginning to be a tent city. There are needles everywhere, right
Oh, so
downtown.
it's like a San
So
Francisco then.
yeah, so it
Okay.
just
like a Skid Row.
Skid
we
Row.
legalized it, and it didn't benefit anybody.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
the,
No,
all the
but y'all
promises
letting
for the
also
Well,
all
I
kind
schools.
of
wouldn't say
illegals and
that.
homeless in over there. It's not
A
the
lot of
druggies.
violent crime has gone down in Colorado since they have legalized it. Now, other
Maybe,
shit may
but
have
the
gone
other
on because
benefits
there are other
haven't. Yeah, it's shitty.
No,
policies, but you
It's shitty
can't
because when I was a
conflate
kid, this was
the.
a very
Yeah, yeah,
conservative state, and it's no longer.
yeah,
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 but
and
a
probably
that's
lot
is.
of
You got
the
unfortunate.
needle
illegals being
That's
bust
use,
hold
out
unfortunate.
there.
on,
Yeah.
one at a time.
Well, we're a
the
sanctuary
needle
state.
use the needle
So
use
that's the
isn't from
problem.
Yeah,
marijuana
it
though.
is.
That's from the pharmaceutical companies getting
What?
people hooked
People
on
don't
pain
shoot up
pills, and
marijuana?
people move from the pain pills that are being prescribed by the doctors. And
Mm-hmm.
when they
Yep.
can't afford that, that's when they move to the
Yeah.
heroin and the
Yeah.
freaking
Or when the
intravenous
Yeah,
doctors cut them
drugs.
heroin's a
off just
lot
like
cheaper.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's all
Heroin's
government
way cheaper.
funded. That's
right.
not because of weed. That's the government
Well,
doing
that
that.
All
heroin
I'm
is
saying is there isn't
government
the benefit
funded
you
in
think.
the Afghanistan. What do you think those troops went there for? They
Mm-hmm.
Poppy
all went there
fields.
to
The poppy
protect
fields.
heroin fields and to kill opium
No,
farms that wouldn't play
that was
ball.
Mm-hmm.
bullshit. That was bullshit. Because if we went there for the poppy seeds and the oil, we wouldn't have fucking burned neither one of them.
You mean it wasn't weapons of mass destruction? What?
If we had gone there for the poppy fields and we had gone there for the oil, we wouldn't have been setting the shit on fire.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
hold on,
it's
hold on.
ridiculous.
When
That
we
was
went
a
to
mission point.
Iraq for oil, it wasn't to bring it back, it was to keep it in the ground or destroy it.
Right.
Because
Destroy
our
it. So
fiat
yeah.
Texas
Yeah, we didn't
dollar
benefit at all.
cannot
So they
handle the
couldn't sell it.
flood 10
Yeah.
years worth of pumping oil that Saddam did. Everyone sanctioned him. So all he could do was pump it and not sell it to anybody, just warehouse it.
Yep.
And let us
Well,
not
that's
It was
forget
the
the
that
problem.
reserve.
He
Saddam.
could have flooded our market and made our currency
Okay, look,
worthless.
let us not forget Saddam was our guy. He was
Yeah, he
CIA.
was.
He was
Yeah, he
our
was.
guy.
He was a CIA guy,
Yes, he
100%.
He was.
was.
We had to get
Yeah.
rid of him because we needed an excuse to sit
Always have to
there.
have a boogeyman.
Yeah.
He got too big for his britches, though. He wanted
Right.
the gold back dinar, which
Yes, he
would
did.
would have pissed off
That was the
the
threat.
Rothschilds,
Yep.
and then you have him pumping oil for 10 years, where he could have just flooded the market with it and sold to China through a gold back dinar that they
Yep.
would have traded for their
And that
gold
was the
back
threat.
yuan.
But we're not
And that
having
was a
that.
huge threat.
Right.
That was a
We're
huge
not
threat
having
to the
that
Yeah.
because
powers
of the
that
Yeah.
be.
petrodollar.
It was a huge threat. Yeah.
It was all set up with OPEC
I
in the
got your central
United
bankers
States.
right here.
Yep,
Yep.
it was set up with
Assholes.
OPEC in the United States as to where, okay,
And
we will
you
keep this
notice
damn USD available for oil if you do A, B, and C for us. So
Yeah.
that's why they're doing it, because
That's why they
US
invaded Venezuela. Shit.
USD is fiat currency, which i.e.
Mm,
worthless currency.
yes, it
But
is
Yeah.
worthless.
I get I get something for
It's just
nothing.
paper.
Okay, I will do that. Okay, United States, because that US dollar is backed by nothing but a
It's
promise.
right. It
Promises.
used to
It's
be.
like
Right.
it's like it's
Promises
like
from Jews.
it's like Pretty Little Wife. I
Yeah.
promise you the world.
Right.
Okay?
That didn't
That
mean
that
shit.
right. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
shit. Exactly. That's what the US dollar
Yeah.
is on the market
That's
for
right. You could
oil
start a
now.
fire with your
And
dollar bills and be
have y'all
just the
noticed
same.
that this opioid epidemic wasn't a thing until after we started bringing troops back
That's
from
right.
Afghanistan? I
Well,
wonder why that
I
is.
and
exactly I
The
wonder.
CIA's running that heroin.
you bet. Well,
They
CIA is
run
and
the
running
opium.
running it
All
the
back and
right.
forth.
They've
yeah,
always done that. That's always been their racket.
yeah,
Has been their black project
yeah.
money has been in
CIA is a
drugs.
big problem.
Always.
They really
It
If
are.
you
happened
go
after
to
it happened
prison
after
for being a big
Vietnam.
drug dealer, it's because you crossed the
Good point.
CIA.
Oh yeah.
Essentially,
Oh yeah. Well, they just
Look at
fluctuate, right?
Vietnam because they
So
had the opioids there also,
yes,
and
they
a lot of
did.
the
That's
veterans
right.
came back
That's
and they were
right. Good
addicted to the
point.
opiates.
Yep. It's a good point.
yeah, just
They
like
don't,
in
they don't give a
Vietnam,
shit
it
about our
happened before.
veterans. They do
Yeah.
not fucking care.
You got
Not
Oh
even
you got
no, they
kind of.
don't. They don't
raw
care at all. You're
Y'all know
right.
they
opium.
have
No.
2 more caravans headed this way, right?
Oh,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, big.
hooray.
I heard
Fifteen
that.
hundred
Yeah,
people. Wait.
and
1,500
after
people.
that, there'll
And
be
out of those
more.
1,500 people, 900 of them have a criminal record here in the
I'm sure
U.S.
they
and have
do.
already been deported
And a
Yep.
Yep.
lot of them though
because
are
they
actually
checked
coming from the
the names
Congo.
at
Hashtag
checkpoint.
deep
Yep,
state.
they're coming from the
Yeah. They're coming
Congo.
from the fucking
The
Absolutely.
Congo.
the
Get the
Ebola-ridden
Hashtag
man.
Congo.
deep state.
Y'all know that there's the
Dude, it's
second
Oh
already
hey,
largest
here.
Ebola epidemic
Yep.
right
hey,
now in the
do,
Congo, right?
do
Already
y'all
here.
remember one of those? It
Already
was like
here.
Doctors Without Borders. There was a
He
Mm.
doctor
died.
who was treating Ebola. No. He was treating Ebola. This maybe a year or two ago. He was treating Ebola in one of those shithole African countries, and he got exposed. He got flown back to the
Oh
U.S. and
yeah, him.
treated
No,
with
he's
these
still alive.
miracle drugs. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
go try and tell me what he's doing today. I don't know.
No, but
'Cause
listen, it's the second largest. This is serious. This is
allegedly
the
That
he's
is.
Yep.
second
treating that.
largest Ebola outbreak in history.
Yep.
Okay, over 2,000 confirmed. It's already spread to Uganda. And the thing about it is, in the Congo, they're in the midst of a civil war. They've
Yep.
already attacked 3 or 4 hospitals with Ebola patients in them.
But you
And they're
know who
about 100. Botembo is about 100 miles from a main international airport.
but
A
And then
100 miles.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hemorrhagic fever's no
who
joke.
has the patent on these viruses?
Clinton.
The
I'm
No,
sure
U.S.
we do.
government,
no,
actually, the
no,
We
U.S.
do.
military.
uh-uh,
Uh
no,
huh.
nope,
Well, Clinton's a
nope,
patent attorney, believe it or not.
Well, who do you
No,
nope,
think
his
it
wife
is?
is.
nope. The
Yeah,
freaking
Hillary is. Yeah.
Rothschilds.
Yeah.
Look them up.
Oh,
The Rothschilds have patents on viruses.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
patents
AIDS
on
was
everything.
created
There
by
is.
They
It's
Dr.
have
disgusting.
patents
Tallow
on
in
viruses
Fort
as
Detrick,
to where, you
Maryland.
know, they can distribute that shit. Look at look look at Bill and Linda Gates.
Mm.
Yeah.
They
Oh
don't
Why
eat the
my
they
same food
God.
as
all
us. No, they
why they
don't. They grow their
always
own.
over in third
Those are the
world
worst,
countries trying to help. No, this
allegedly.
is
They're
experimenting
sterilizing
on them.
people. They're giving them other
Mm-hmm.
This
viruses. They're
Yep.
experimenting on these third world
yep.
countries as to
Yes,
where,
they
okay,
do.
how would
It's really gross.
this so-called antidote, react, this virus will react to this antidote. They're testing on third world countries. So,
Sure.
okay, when we need to pull this out, we will drop this off in there. They're infecting people.
Well, they must have an agenda with this Ebola because
Yeah,
Well,
2 weeks
of course they
ago,
do.
116 African migrants were apprehended in Texas.
yes,
And I
Yeah.
think
San
some
Antonio.
86 of them were from the Congo.
Right.
Yep.
And it,
Yeah,
it it can take up to a month for Ebola symptoms to
exactly.
present. You know that, right? So these
Right.
people can come over here and be carrying the virus and not be showing any symptoms at all.
Yep.
But it's like this. You know why they're doing this now? Orange Man wasn't found guilty. We
Well, it's
have to get
they're
Orange
throwing
Man
everything they
out of
can.
here.
Now,
So
think
Right.
yeah.
about
There,
that. Now,
there's
think about that
like I
though.
said, spaghetti
They're
on the
willing to.
wall until it's done.
They're willing to to just drop the black vote.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Fuck y'all. You know,
Yep.
we don't need y'all anymore.
Yep.
They're
Pretty
willing
much.
to do that with
It's
They're willing to do a lot of
no,
things.
it's beyond the black
Yeah,
vote
it's
nationwide.
scary.
It's beyond the black vote. It's
Right.
getting to a point as to where
What's going on, Mr. Gander?
if you've been following up, Orange Man is getting ready to declassify all of that shit that's been
Sure
going
is.
on with this doggone Russiagate.
This
Well,
still
yeah.
He's getting
dossier.
ready to
Not
declassify all of this
everything.
shit. So
If
everybody
he
who
if he
participated in this
declassified
shit is
everything, they
guilty.
would find out about Israel Gate, the
Yeah, they
real
would.
No,
collusion.
Yeah,
Q,
there's that.
Q already said Israel is last. Q already announced that Israel is last.
Q is a LARP, dude. It has been so disproven. It is
No,
fake.
Pew
no.
Research, is that?
Q as in QAnon.
Q. Oh
That
no,
is
I don't
No,
follow that.
not
Q.
real.
No, I
I'm
don't think
sorry to
so.
tell you.
I don't
I'm
think
sorry
so.
to tell
Let's
you. I
not
know
get
who
on Q.
started
We
it.
got
Let's not
Okay,
get on
all
I
right,
Q.
know
get
Q
off
what
of
the
has
Q,
original
but
nothing to do with
password
what I'm saying
reparations.
is, it's like they are
I know where it
trying,
started.
they are trying any and everything to distract the United
Yeah.
States public.
And that's Q is part of
well,
that.
if this Ebola mutates, they do have a vaccine. It's not finished yet, but they are shipping it.
Yeah, yeah, I
But if
heard
it
that.
mutates, that vaccine is worthless.
Yeah, it
And
is.
Ebola has a high
It's of
tendency to mutate.
questionable value, even they claim that it works. Well, it's of questionable value anyway. I
Exactly.
mean, the flu vaccine is
I don't take
completely
vaccines.
worthless.
I don't either.
Me either. I haven't had any vaccines in 20 years.
Nope.
Right. The flu vaccine is worthless because of the fact that they have
It's more than
different
worthless. It's
chicken
dangerous.
different
What's in
Yeah,
inside
chicken
of those is
doggone
it
meh.
is
parts
actually
and
dangerous.
larvae and all of that, as to where they've super mutated the
Well,
chicken.
they put mercury in it.
Yeah,
Okay.
They
they've
put a
super
lot of
They put a
fucked
lot
they
up
of
shit in it.
disgusting
right, a
things
lot
in
of
it.
junk.
They
But what I'm
put
saying is
formaldehyde.
they've super
You
mutated
can't
the
work in the White
doggone
House
chicken
under
as to
Trump.
where it's ineffective anymore,
No, I'm
regardless
not
of what
shooting
they
If you've
do.
anybody up with
gotten the
that.
flu
Hold
shot, you
on,
can't
y'all,
work
because
in the White House under Trump. He will
No.
not. His wife will not allow anyone who's gotten a flu shot to work
Good.
inside of the White House.
Good.
Right,
hold on. I
Good.
want
because
to get a chance to speak.
Viral shedding.
Trying to get
hold
in.
up, nationwide saying something. Hold up, what's up?
I want to go ahead and give Mr. Gander a chance to speak because he's been waiting for a while to say his piece.
Of course. Sorry.
Welcome, Mr. Gander, to the panel.
Hello,
Welcome.
guys.
Hi.
It's finally great to speak to all of you. Finally.
Oh, you as well.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to catch up on the conversation. I'm sorry. That's why
It's
I
kind of all
held my
over the
tongue.
place.
Mainly, it's about the reparations. Do we really need it or no?
I'm going to say no.
Right.
Agreed.
I mean,
Look,
that's pretty much
everybody that
across
was
the
a
board.
slave back, 18th, 19th century, are any of these people still around?
No.
No.
Exactly.
No.
Let's focus on who
Whoa.
we have in this world today.
I agree.
Right.
Plain
There's
and
a doggy.
That's Colin doing that shit.
No, it's not. It's
Actually, I
not.
had to contact Colin to get on here.
Yeah.
No,
He's
it's
the
deplorables,
mastermind.
dog.
He's the gate holder.
Yeah.
Y'all
I'm
think
old school when it
Colin's
comes
the
to this
one
new
helping
tech.
me keep this together?
Yeah, and I can't see shit.
Damn it, Colin.
Good job, Colin.
Aw, you guys are too kind.
No, we're not.
I know.
No, we're
Fucking
not.
assholes.
Fuck off, Colin.
The fucking gun squad? Are you kidding me, man? We're not kind. We lay in,
We're
okay?
bullies.
Oh, you're bullying me.
Fuck
You're
yeah,
bullying
Barbara.
me. Fuck all of you guys. So.
You're a piece
Hey,
of
Tony.
shit, Colin.
Yes.
But
While I
you're
have the
worth it.
chance, will you get my info from Nationwide? like
Okay.
at some point, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Because I had some puzzle pieces I'm working on, and I think you'd be good to bounce it off of if that's okay.
Oh, no problem. No
Okay.
problem. I mean, I'll you
John's good at that stuff. It sounds
no,
like
no,
you're good at that stuff
you in
too.
the you in the Discord, right?
uh, uh, Nationwide, am I in there?
I don't
Yes,
Yeah.
you
know.
Yeah,
are.
I
I
saw
am.
Yes,
you in there.
Okay.
yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just hit me
Dude,
up.
I don't
Just hit
know.
me
I'm
up in
never
the
actually in
Discord.
there, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just hit me up in the Discord because I did see you post something in the Discord.
No, I didn't. I
Well,
didn't
Yes,
say
you did.
anything. Oh, wait, yeah, I did one time.
Yes, you
I,
did. I saw you.
God
Because I
Yeah,
damn
I
it,
mean,
did.
Carlos is like
Other than
right
that,
all
that's the
over
it's
the
only
like,
thing.
it's
fucking.
like, who is
Hold on, hold on,
this?
hold on.
Who's
Yeah,
this
I did
girl?
see you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah,
When did you
Okay.
guys learn
But
how to
yeah,
write?
I did.
I'll
Okay.
post my email address up in the
Okay.
Discord. You just hit me
Okay.
up.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll stay on topic. I
See,
won't
see how
take
black folks do. See how black folks do. Just right over his conversation.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
right.
It was quiet, so I thought I'd ask.
Finish your
Shit.
thought. That's how
Shit.
black folks do.
yeah.
We just step right on your shit.
Yep.
He,
Go ahead,
Shit.
man.
what the heck?
Your point nationwide.
Oh, Discord. Okay.
Oh, I thought Michigan still had some stuff he was going to say.
It was
I
quiet.
thought
I
he
was not
I
being
thought he
rude.
no, I thought he was gonna lay
No, no,
down
I'm
some
trying to let everybody,
info.
speak their mind, okay?
Oh yeah,
Well,
okay.
we
You'll
all
come to
spoke. It's
find.
your
Yeah,
turn.
we spoke.
Yeah, it's your
Yeah.
turn.
No,
Okay,
no, no, no.
so
I
let me
mean,
ask you a question.
You'll find that we don't
I
really have
admit I'm more
filters.
of a listener than I am a speaker because,
Oh, okay.
you know,
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool.
I want to hear everybody's opinions and thoughts and
Well, then you
yada
should have
yada.
been here on time.
True. But like I said, I'm old school with this technology, so I needed the help of Colin.
Yeah. Fucking Michigan
Oh,
people,
that was
man.
nice of
Well,
you.
Yeah,
suck.
fucking
Colin,
Michiganders.
Fucking Michigan.
We
Colin,
fucking
you've been
suck,
sitting
man.
in the
What can I
cut.
tell you?
Huh?
Colin, you've been sitting in the cut listening.
Yes.
I know you don't have very much of an opinion on the situation, but have you formed any type of an opinion on the situation?
I have. I don't. I look. I understand where the other side is coming from, but no one is like.
I don't.
Well, that I'm. Shit. Now I just lost my train of.
Speak for yourself.
Dick.
Or no, I mean we already. They already have their rights, so why should we give them more, right?
Stop.
Well, I
That's
mean,
not rights. That's privileges.
Yeah.
damn, that was a
Yeah.
Yeah.
stab right
And
there.
there's so many jobs now. I mean, like, if they really want the money that bad, they can get a job.
Right.
There you go, Colin. Keep it
Yeah.
real.
For
Keep
real.
it
Everybody's always
real and
They
to
screaming
the
about
don't, and then
equality
they
all the
think
time.
they're
I
being
say
cool.
no.
Right. Yeah.
It's all about
And
privileges.
they go into
Right.
starting crime. And once you get a felony, it's hard as hell to get a job. I'll give them that.
Yeah,
They
it
should
is.
damn bad choice to begin with.
The
They should
Second
look
Step
for a
Act
job.
also works on that too.
Yeah.
Helping ex felons get jobs.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It
That's
Oh
is
yeah,
pretty
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome.
And it's the people Trump somehow gathered like a whole ton of ex felons that own businesses in different states
Mm.
and worked out some kind of deal with them to where they're hiring the people and helping them
Yeah, they
integrate
would
into
have the more
society.
they would have the best foresight of judging that individual than an actual normie as per se.
Exactly. How smart is that? Like,
And this is just me being a
Super
dumbass.
smart.
I'm just being a dumbass real quick. Wouldn't it be more profitable to put that money that you're talking about putting into the all that other dumb shit into what the shit that Trump is talking about with the whole helping the felons who's getting out and everything? Wouldn't that
Yeah,
money that
fixing
you're
what's
talking about?
broken.
Right. But
Right.
here's the thing though. It's like we don't know they don't know what's broken until they get that person as to where, okay, I'm pretty sure he's going to put into play as to where he brought these folks in. It's like, okay, I need you to quote unquote rejob these folks.
Mm-hmm.
You are the best folks to judge these folks because you've been
Right.
in their situation. If they're
Right.
good people, fine. You want to hire, you're hiring, You apply for this grant.
Right.
You apply for this grant for your business because you want to hire more because your business require more people. You have vetted the the criminal felon. You have vetted him as to where, yeah, I know Pookie. Pookie served this time. Pookie was cool in lockup and
Right.
everything, but I know Pookie is a hardworking folk.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my faith in Pookie, so therefore I need to apply for a grant so I can make sure I can hire Pookie.
I've known plenty of Ray Rays who worked. Now I'll say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I've known plenty of Ray Rays that worked.
I'm not
That
leaving
might
Ray
not
Ray
have
out
wanted him at
because,
the job because, of course Ray Ray is going to bring Sharkeisha with him
but
eventually.
that's
But
beside the
but
point.
I know some
When it
Ray Rays that work. That's just what it
know
is.
what I'm saying? When it come to Pookie and Sharkeisha, Sharkeisha is sitting on the sideline. Pookie worry about Pookie first until
Right.
he can get into that job. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, if you have a felon or a person that has a felon, but he's a small business owner, his business is productive. That's what Deplorable was saying about the Second Step Act. It's where, yes, there will be opportunities, there will be avenues per se, as to where, okay, you know, the Second Step app allows you to apply for additional funding to hire more felons or people who have felons like you, but they got caught up in a situation as to where they're not bad people. It's just the crime that was laid on them.
Right.
But the only person who can figure that out is a prison psychologist or an actual ex-felon who has known to change his life around.
That's why Trump did exactly that, though.
Right, exactly. Which is
Right.
good. Oh
Which
man,
just goes to show you how much thought they really put into this Second Step Act.
yes.
Right.
Right.
Actually, Trump listened to ex-felons. He listened to behind the scenes ex-felons explaining the Second Step Act for him.
Right. Come on, John. You ain't said nothing in a while. What's going on with you? What you thinking?
Hey, we don't have any cars.
I think John had to go get some coffee and or
Yeah, I think John muted.
Oh, sorry, I'm
yeah,
back.
there he is.
There's the car man himself.
John Rice.
What I did this time?
No, I get it. It's kind of
What
hard
was
to
the
jump
question?
in when you got so many people talking. It's just like really hard to jump in. And then
Yeah,
once you have a
sometimes
point on your brain, you get a point that somebody brought up, and then it's hard to get in there. So then you lose that point because they done moved on to a whole nother subject.
yeah.
That's why I'm gonna ask that we like keep our points a little bit more briefer. That way, and don't like switch topics. That way, somebody can get their part in before we get to the next.
Gotcha.
You know,
Right on, right on.
you can lead to another subject, but make sure that you leave enough room for for somebody else to rebut your first conversation.
Yeah. Right on.
So, like, well, I just think, well, when I
I'll
think,
be right back.
all right,
Did y'all actually watch the reparations hearing?
yeah, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw
I did.
Danny Glover.
Yes, Danny Glover made an ass of himself.
I couldn't believe that, man. I was disappointed.
As a matter of fact, there's another part that I want to show y'all. Hold on, let me go ahead and set this up so I can show y'all, if
Yeah,
y'all don't
show him
mind,
again.
real quick. Because there was a white lady who I was watching while we were talking, and I liked some of what she was saying.
She was at the hearing.
Yeah,
Okay, well, trying to think of who it was.
All right, let me know if y'all can hear this.
Oh, he is too.
Thank you, Chairman, and Ranking Member Johnson and Representative Jackson Lee for the opportunity to speak this morning. I am a deep-seated patriot.
Yeah, we can hear now.
Devastating to learn from my grandmother at age 28 that our ancestors had been slave traders, and to discover that the DeWolfs were, in fact, the largest slave trading family in United States history, bringing over 12,000 Africans to the Americas in chains. But these were my Rhode Island ancestors, and that Rhode Island turns out to be the state that sent more ships to Africa than any other, required me to reorganize my brain. The amnesia in my family matched the larger amnesia of the North, the self-serving myths of being always on the right side of history. I could no longer carry a sense of moral superiority relative to white Southerners, nor a sense of innocence vis-a-vis black claims on the white conscience. I decided to initiate a family journey to retrace the triangle trade. 9 relatives joined me, 2 of which are here today, and the documentary Traces of the Trade is the result, the subtitle being A Story from the Deep North. What we learned, how we stumbled, how we grew during that journey led me to become a passionate believer in the importance of reckoning with the history and legacy of slavery, a believer in personal and family reckonings, institutional ones, and larger national reckoning. And with that, in the need for repair or reparative action, which can and should take many, many forms. I express wholehearted support for HR 40, and I've met countless people of all backgrounds who believe in this form of national effort as well. I know there are many who strenuously object to the premise that we need this reckoning. Pushback I hear most often is, that's your problem given your ancestors, but it has nothing to do with me. It's understandable that people distance themselves. I'll focus on 2 reasons. 1, most of us learned a distorted history of slavery in school. So as white Americans, most of us don't realize our connection to it. Second, there's a natural instinct to avoid that which can bring feelings of shame about our people, about the country that we love. To address the first issue, here's a quick rundown of historical facts I had not been taught. That the North was deeply implicated, that slavery was legal in northern states for over 200 years, that Northerners up and down the economic spectrum made their livings in businesses tied to slave trade and slavery, that Northern mills processed cotton harvested by enslaved people. The Midwest and the West were implicated. They grew food to feed the South, where land was devoted to cash crops like cotton, harvested by the enslaved. Consumers throughout the country were implicated in their everyday purchases of clothing, coffee, sugar, rice, tobacco. People who immigrated from Europe after slavery were implicated. I have Irish, French, and German immigrant ancestors who came to the United States in the 19th century, worked in factories, struggled, but they were given access to the American dream. Why were waves of immigrants flocking here? Because it was the land of opportunity. Why was the economy booming? Why were there jobs? Because it had been built largely on unpaid labor. Once here, European immigrants got to systematically leapfrog over Black families with devastating consequences up to the present day. So slavery built the nation. It turning us into an economic powerhouse, due mostly
Okay, y'all do understand. Y'all only hear like 4 or 5 people clapping, right?
Why are you putting me through this, Nationwide?
Because he's cool.
Hey, it took place back then. What about today?
Sounds like white guilt to me.
Whoo, Lord.
Well,
I do not share her sympathies. I got nothing.
I can't see skin color. Fuck it.
Okay, now
Jesus Christ!
now understand.
You
I'm
just
not gonna
gave
go
us.
any further. I'm not going to go any further with it.
Thank
But
God.
now understand. My whole point with that was, okay, there is white guilt out there, and this
Yeah, I guess.
is a form of white guilt that nobody really truly recognizes.
Right.
Well, but she wants to share it, see, because we're all implicated. Fuck
Finding out
her.
that but she's finding out that she has family who were slave traders.
Okay, well, that is hers.
Okay, so now I want to talk to those people who find out that you have family that's slave traders. That was your fucking family. That's not you. You don't owe me shit.
Right.
Thank you.
You don't owe me shit. I grew up with my mom and my dad. My dad grew up with his mom and his dad. My mom grew up with her mom and her dad. I'm generations of mom and dads. It's fucking possible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm generations of that shit. I'm literally
It's
the
people
only,
like her that
I'm literally the only son that did not get married. I'm literally the only one. And it was because I kept running into these broads who didn't want nothing. Literally, the last one didn't want nothing. When she found out her kids were autistic, then she wanted them. She didn't want nothing else but them.
No, you kept running into broads that were raised without fathers. That's what did.
Exactly.
Hey, nationwide. We're nationwide. Nationwide. All I can say is,
Okay, all right. Look, this is just what I'm thinking. Like,
John,
What?
mute.
trying to coordinate something with somebody. I really love.
Is that me?
Mute, John.
And I've done
No, that's John.
for someone.
What?
John, mute, baby.
I
Your
was pouring a
background
drink.
is
What's
really
up?
loud.
Oh, sorry about that.
hey, wait a minute. Nationwide. Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
go ahead.
All I can say is that it's thanks to women like her that I am not checking my privilege, okay? What privilege?
Now, okay, so, but now I want to get onto that subject. Is there a such thing as white privilege?
Hell no.
Fuck no.
I'm a black
There's
dude.
only one kind of privilege, and that's money privilege.
Than anything. I think
Let me
there's
tell-
more of a black privilege than anything because I'm allowed to sit right here and call each and every one of you white people on this panel a fucking cracker, and the minute y'all say nigger, y'all, I can make sure your page is shut down.
That's
True.
racist.
That's racist.
That's funny.
Racist.
'Cause I've
Very
said that
true.
part a lot. I'm
Very
just talking
true.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm just talking shit.
So
Do you know how many times I've been called a cave beast on the internet?
People who have a privilege. We're literally talking about giving reparations to a class of people who have a privilege.
Well, I got a simple question. Just ask him, what color do we bleed?
We all bleed blood.
We all bleed red.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. This is what I learned in the army. What I learned in the army, and I still live by that code. We all wear green. We all bleed red, and we all go home.
And we're all pink on the inside.
Well, we never went that far.
Hey, wait a minute.
Bring that to my real life.
Hey, wait a minute. As far as the ladies go, it's all pink in the middle.
Please don't get me started on my Tourette's because I'm actually calm right now.
I got Michigan on here.
Yeah, he's the one that likes to talk about his licking activities.
Yeah, so he has his thing and I have my thing.
Look, y'all gotta understand. I just understood. When I saw the name, I just knew the dude was cool. That's all I remembered. I didn't really think about who it was that I said, go ahead and sit it.
Ow.
What the
Yeah, and he.
What the fuck was that?
Oh. That is not me.
Who is buzzing us out of commission?
What
These
the
are
hell
not the
was that?
droids you're looking for.
Somebody's calling my phone. It's vibrating.
What the hell?
Jesus
It's
Christ,
on the
that's one
counter.
hell of a
It's
vibrator.
vibrating.
No, I just want to point out the vibration noises started after we started talking about his licking activities.
Barbara, you need to check your vibrator.
Fucking Transformer joined the chat.
I seen the shit on Pornhub, but I've never thought the shit was real. You really got your vibrator hooked to your phone?
Exactly.
No,
Put
my
that on
phone.
Pornhub.
Yeah. That shit sounded like it was hooked to a car battery.
Well, yeah, because my phone's on the counter.
Oh yeah. So we already know what Michigan man's activities are, and
He
everyone
said
knows
that
what
with
my
a straight
activities are.
face.
Put that sound on Pornhub. You'll get a lot of likes, I promise.
I don't have very many people in the goddamn chat. Goddamn it. I don't expect any likes. I just expect people to look at this shit and learn something. Again, I'm not here to be liked. I just want people to learn shit. I went through a lot of shit, and I think that my dad and him having his dad and my mom having her dad taught me something that's missing when it comes to a lot of people. Because I can't necessarily say that I understand what a lot of these black people are going through. I can't even say that it doesn't exist. I will never say that it doesn't exist. But I will say that I can't understand it because I've never had to deal with it. My dad has always been there. He's always taught me right from wrong.
Right.
The minute that I decided to get from up under my dad was the minute I realized this world isn't easy. That was my wake up call. The day I said, you know what, Dad, I got this. I'm smelling myself. I'm grown.
Nationwide.
I said that is the day that the world started kicking me in my ass.
Nationwide, did anybody ever say that life was anything but fair?
No.
Well,
exactly.
And now that y'all say that, if you think about it, the millennials are all, all right, millennials are taught that
fucking piss on it.
With this right now society, everything comes right now in an instant.
Right.
Whether it's microwaving your food, whether it's getting, picking up the phone and be able to get contacts with anybody at that moment. Everything's an instant in this society right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The average attention span is 5 seconds right now.
Right. So the socialism is an easy feed to the millennials. Everyone's on an equal playing field. You don't have to work for it. It's just the instant gratification. And that's what they're trying to implement.
No. Everybody in this society should be willing to work.
Right. Well, that's what the country was founded on. You work, whatever you put in is what you get out of it. So if you work hard, you get more out of what you're working for.
I'm just
saying
saying
what we're built on.
If I can go out and get my blind ass a job, so can you guys.
Yeah.
So there
That's
you go.
what made us so great.
That's no bullshit.
That's what
right
separated
there.
us from everyone else. And we've lost that.
And I live on my own. There you
People
go.
are entitled because they've never had to have it rough. They've all the millennial generation, my generation, has the majority of them have had it easy. Even the poorest one have had it easier than people in third world countries.
Yeah.
So they have a sense of entitlement.
Yes. Does anybody remember the motherfucker who sued his own family because they wanted to put him out of their house?
Yes,
I've seen that. I saw that. It's crazy.
He's already in his 30s, that motherfucker.
He was big. He's been grown. He wasn't grown. He wasn't a grown ass man. He been grown.
He was middle-aged.
Suing his family about getting kicked out.
Yes.
He needs to get off his mother's tit.
Well, you guys, I moved out when I graduated high school. I was out of my parents' house.
Same here.
Yeah. I was out at 16, bitches.
I got a job at 14 years old. At 14 years old, I started working. The moment I started earning a paycheck, I started having responsibilities, whether it was paying for my own clothes
Yeah.
or paying a utility bill. And the
That's not-
reason my parents did that, it wasn't because they couldn't afford it, because my parents did well. It was to teach me a sense of
Responsibility.
responsibility. Yes.
Exactly.
And that's what people are missing these days, though. Most of them has never had to do anything. They got the type of mamas that say, "Oh, my child never does anything wrong," and if their
Oh
child's
my
accused of doing anything
God.
wrong, they go and fight the person or argue with the person because they believe their child's right.
Now my parents will let me know if I did anything wrong. Trust
Right.
me.
Just look at the parents who are attacking teachers in schools because they're correcting their children.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No,
If I was
Look,
Talk
all I
about
know.
how bad that's gotten. Think about it like this: you can teach your kid one thing at home, and they're legally allowed to unprogram your children from your thinking. And if you try to change it, they can put your ass in jail.
Yes.
Hey, you know something? Look,
That's
all I know
your
is
kid.
all I know is I don't want a drag person reading to kids if I had any, okay?
Thank you.
Bingo.
Thank you.
Well,
Bingo.
that one in
Fuck that.
Texas,
Boingo.
that drag story time in Texas, the guy that was actually reading stories to the kids for like a week was a convicted pedophile.
Yep, I saw
Yes,
that.
he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh hell no. Why?
He had already been caught sexually abusing children.
Yeah, and you wonder
Why am I not surprised?
Fuck.
So that tells you right there, they didn't do any kind of background check. Absolutely nothing.
No.
None.
No, and
No,
why
they
are they
cost
teaching
money.
young kids about sexuality anyway? That's not
Exactly.
something that needs to be.
It's part of the
Oh,
new world. It's part of the new world order.
In
Barbara.
California, they teaching them younger and younger. I
It's
think it's like
always
first
about
or
the
second
kids.
grade about like gay relationships, anal sex by the time they in
No.
third grade.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
All
Yeah, well,
kind
it's
of
up to
crazy
us
stuff.
to
Why
protest
are they
it.
there's
doing
a
that?
lot
It
of
was all
It's
about the
pressure.
kids.
always about the kids. It's
It's
always everything. It's all
pre-programming,
about
is
the
what it
kids.
is. It's
No.
All right, check this out. This was
And
supposed
the
to be
reason that they do that is because kids are easily vulnerable because their brains have not evolved yet. You know what I
It's
mean?
pre-programming.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what it
why you got to
is.
start
Yeah,
teaching your kids from jump.
right. They want that to be the norm for these children. So when the new world order takes over,
They won't fight.
is gender fluidity.
Yeah, and
No.
they won't fight. They'll just go along with it because they'll agree with it.
Please don't get me started on the restroom situation.
Who the fuck
Hey, the
agrees that there's
brainwashing's
76?
real.
Who the
Right.
fuck
You
agrees that
know,
there's 76 genders out there? I mean, come on.
There's only two. There's only
There's only
Exactly.
two.
Well,
if
see,
I had
the
a
premise
dollar for every
is
gender,
that they're
I'd only
trying to
have $2.
no, they're
Exactly.
trying to say that gender and sex aren't the same thing, which they've always been the
Bullshit.
same thing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why on some forms it'll say sex, and on other forms it'll ask gender because they have been interchangeable only
Yeah.
all of human history. But now they're trying to say gender is different from
Yeah.
sex.
I just
Gender
want to.
is what you feel, and sex is what your biology is,
I just want
which
to
is
Right.
say.
It's
bullshit.
the language of the left. It's an old tactic.
I
No,
It's
just.
been around
look.
forever.
They're
Confused
going against
people don't
science.
fight.
The socialist agenda is to change the vocabulary, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Give it new
Sure
meaning.
is.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
they have been. They actually have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah,
Yes, they
exactly.
have.
I mean, all I'm doing.
They're moving the Overton window
Yes.
further and
Sure are.
further to the left every chance they get.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
What they don't realize is the more they attempt that, the more when the pendulum swings the other way, it will be completely like Nazism will be okay. Like they're going so far commie left with it. When the pendulum swings back the other way, they're
It's gonna
really not
smack
gonna
them in the
like it.
ass.
Yeah, they're not gonna like it. Or they'll love it and they'll try to take over. You know, whatever. One of those two.
I don't think they'll be successful at taking over.
Oh no.
People are waking
Well,
up left and right.
It depends on who you're talking about. Are you talking about the useful idiot? No, of course not.
No,
They're just a
no. The
loud
useful
minority.
idiots, they'll fail. And they'll
Yeah,
wonder what the
always.
hell happened, you know?
Yeah. I mean, but the people at the top, well, hell, they've already taken over. Whether they're the George Soros type or whether they're the
Well, no, they
Rothschild
don't
type
have
or
full
whether
control
they're
yet because if they did, Trump would already be out of there. They might have some control, but they don't have full
Trump is
control.
as much of a puppet as any
And
other
we still have
president
hope.
ever has been.
That's their agenda, though. They slowly try to lure it in, one piece at a time. You know?
Well, they're not
Yeah.
getting this person.
No,
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 I don't
not me
think.
either.
And that's why they want him out.
Yeah.
No, not
You
me
can't
particularly. I'm talking
vote.
about Trump. He's a nationalist. He's nowhere. He's not a
You
globalist
can't.
whatsoever.
You
Nope.
can't vote for freedom. You can't vote for freedom. Period.
You have to
Period. You
fight
can't
for
vote.
it.
Hey, I'm gonna have to
Exactly.
give me some rest here because I got an early start
You're gonna
tomorrow.
go make another mixtape?
Hell yeah.
I'm pretty much caught up on my my classes, so my next mixtape will probably be like a 70s mixtape.
Oh,
You know,
Ooh.
all
no.
the disco stuff.
Oh, you need to do like
Yeah.
an Otis Redding one.
Oh, so you're
Like
gonna give us
Yeah.
Otis Redding greatest hits mixtape.
He's gonna do one
Okay.
for Jules that goes bang chicka wow 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 wow.
Hogan's
But
gonna give us some Night Fever.
You should have
yeah,
a late
I'm gonna
night
do some
show.
70s stuff.
Yeah, that sounds
I
good.
pulled down some old school 70s stuff from one of the websites that I got, you know, and so I'm a dabble with that a little bit, but it'll probably go from 70s, 80s, you know, but stuff that everybody would recognize.
Oh, that'd be cool. Like it would
Yeah.
like blend into the next decade.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
I'm gonna put that
Right?
together. I give myself about a week or so, because I think I'm doing pretty good in my classes. So my doggone humanities teacher is not on my ass.
Yeah.
Oh God, she throw those little quips at us and make us think that. Well, make me think. I take it personally. Make me
Yeah.
think that what am I doing wrong? You know?
Well, that's good though.
Yeah.
That's critical thinking.
Yeah,
That's
true.
probably her purpose.
I think it is because it's like I saw that her last post to me, and then I checked everybody else's post in the forum in the discussion board, and it's like she only responded to me
Well,
at that
teachers
time.
She
You know.
probably
teachers
sees
tend
something different in you,
well that's what I was gonna say. Teachers
honestly.
Yeah.
tend to challenge their more brighter students a little bit
Yeah.
more than they do the other students.
And on the agenda
And you're
today.
definitely not a follower.
Which
Right.
No.
sometimes is good and sometimes isn't so productive. Me, I just as using myself as an example. Uh, when someone challenges me, a lot of times, unless it's something I'm really passionate about, in which case you can't shake it. But if someone challenges isn't really the word I'm looking for. Let's say from the opposite perspective. When someone encourages me,
Yeah.
I blossom. I do well. I
And
excel.
and that's what she's
But
doing right now.
Yep. She's watering
but
you.
with
You're her little
I've
flower.
known
I
I've
told you,
known a
teacher pet.
lot of people that they seem they get me to second guess myself just to get me to second guess myself, not in a
Yeah.
productive way, but in a I'm
Right.
smarter than you or whatever way. And I don't do well around those kind of people.
I think what has happened was, see, this is a eight week online course, and there are 16-week courses available at the same university for online.
Oh,
And I'm thinking that, since she is a full-time professor,
yeah.
my statistics and professor, she's a full-time professor, but
Yeah.
when I took college algebra last about 3 weeks ago, I just finished, but she was an adjunct, so therefore her approach was like, yes, I know you guys have jobs, I know you guys, do got your lives. This is what this is how we're going to approach this. But
Yeah.
when I got into her class, it's like, what am I doing wrong? I started second guessing myself. I'm putting out the information that she wanted, but the way she came back with the response, I was frustrated because in the beginning I didn't know exactly what she was asking, and it just seemed overwhelming because this time I was taking two classes instead of one and trying to work a full-time job.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, yeah, it's trying right now.
Yeah.
But
But it'll be worth it.
yeah,
At the end of the day,
I got, I think after these 2 3 credit classes, I think I'll have like about 90 credits to go.
And nonetheless,
But the rest of it is I will get rid of the math. Once I finish the statistics class, I'm done with math.
right.
You
Hell
know.
yeah.
and then the
But that's
speed.
all you
But
really.
she
I
she
mean,
did send she did send some words of encouragement out my way, so makes me
Oh,
want to like work harder now.
Well, yeah, she
yeah.
literally took the time out of her life to, I mean,
Yeah.
that should be very encouraging because
It
normally
was.
teachers don't do that. Like, she
No.
definitely sees something in you.
And
Yeah,
I
I
and
agree.
I and I looked in other folks' posts because the
You can
post
see.
this year
Yeah.
and this week, this is week 3. Yeah, the post in this week, we have to just tell about experiences, about whether what we think about social media in the classroom, what's the pros and cons on it. So it was something that we should take in this class should already know about.
right,
So therefore, I looked in other folks' posts. She ain't posted to nobody else and asked them questions what they thought about, expanding questions, and it's like, okay, so I feel a little special,
right,
Because
so
they
she,
honestly probably weren't worth her time.
yeah, so she's making it as to where,
Oh,
okay, let me know that I'm okay, I'm doing a okay job, don't
yeah.
don't get hard on me to discourage me as to where, you
Yeah.
know what, lady, I'm about to really give up this class and just give you shit answers, give you shit papers and stuff like that. Cause she wanted to write really formal APA style, papers. I ain't wrote an APA paper since 2002.
right.
I don't even remember how to write APA or MLA.
Right.
You ain't lying.
MLA is a lot easier than APA.
Yeah.
You ain't
Yeah.
lying.
Yeah. But it's like I sat there and like I got a paper on Q now, as to where, okay, is it right? So the fortunate thing on my education is on these 2 classes is to where I got at my job, there's I have a guy who is an adjunct professor,
Right,
so I can do my paper, email it to him and say, hey, is this right?
Yeah.
So that's the fortunate thing on my end. I got somebody to tell me, yes, it's right. No, you need to change this and all of that. So, and he doesn't, worry about charging me for anything, which is
Hell yeah.
great.
Yeah. It's good to have that kind of a resource on your hands.
Yes.
you ain't
And
lying.
that was the fortunate. And that's what I think that really relaxed me because I have that resource as to where I don't have to outsource anything or, put too much mental frustration into this.
Right.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I figure I figure I was fortunate, and then one of the other, it's another employee that works with me. She did. Uh, she took she took statistics. It was a certain thing. I think she took psychology statistics.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to do a little bit more than what I'm doing. But she understood. She knew what the stuff that I had to go through.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I will call up on you when I need it. I mean, I may need her next week because we're moving into something a little bit more difficult, and I've been slacking a couple nights because of Colin.
And on the docket today, we have a
I'm
very
gonna blame it on Colin because
and then
Colin sent me a doggone hangout link the other night when I should have been in the doggone
It's always
class.
hold on. I want to say this. Welcome to
It's
the Smooth
always
Talk
Colin's
Show.
fault when nobody gets any sleep because this motherfucker gets coffee all goddamn day.
Welcome to the Smooth Talk Show with DJ Landscape. And here on the docket today, we're going to play some smooth jazz. Smooth jazz.
All
You
right,
gotta make
so with that, what I'm
No,
going
no,
to
no,
do is go
no,
ahead
no.
and
You mean smooth? You mean smooth disco?
with that, I want to go ahead and get everybody's closing arguments or closing thoughts. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to go ahead and start with Barbara, then move to Colin, and then Deplorable.
All right. Well, essentially, just like I opened, my biggest stance is the son should never pay for the sins of the father. Plain and simple.
Okay.
all I just want to say is, if you spend less time complaining and more time actually trying to take action and get a job,
Here, here.
actually, you wouldn't even worry about that. You would
Right.
make your own money. And shit, the economy is really good right now. So why not get a job?
Amen.
Oh, I have. I don't have much
Yeah.
more.
All right. Deplorable.
Well, I believe that if it were done in a certain lifespan, like a certain lifetime, then it should be done. But it's been far too long. It's been what, 300 years?
Right.
It's just not feasible to find out who's a descendant, who's not, and like it would cost entirely too much money. Now, if we maybe made some programs or something to help them get jobs and do like we are now with the criminal justice, but for people that haven't been, arrested and stuff, just like programs to help out, I'd be good with that.
Right.
But given history shows us anytime you give something to someone, they don't value it the way they would have if they worked for it. They tend to squander it away.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, John, Michigander, then we'll have Ian.
I want to say something real quick. Actually, I have two complaints. One, I wish Gunner were here to talk with us right now. Damn it. Well, okay. And my second complaint is yes, reparations need to go. Everybody has to earn their keep. Okay, I've done it my whole goddamn life. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, no excuses.
Well, God damn it.
Shit, even I can do it. Saying so.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
I mean, I agree with every one of everyone's points on that. It's kind of hard to be the last person to give a closing argument because I'm like, shit, so and so already said that. But yeah, no, I mean, exactly. All those are excellent points, and
You're not the
everything I think is
last.
along the same line. Oh, okay. I miscounted.
It's cool. It's cool.
Oh, I
Fuck
didn't
all of
see you
you.
there.
But no, reparation. Here's what I would say. My closing argument is reparations is not only an indefensible position to take, it's also an un shit. What's that word?
It's unethical to make people pay for
Uh,
something they do.
not I was gonna say
Yeah.
not unemployable, but that gives the wrong context. But uh, unimplementable. There we go. Non-implementable.
Agreed.
There's no way you can possibly ever logistically implement any of that. That's ridiculous. You'll never know who to give it to.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Eden.
Um. Hmm. Well,
That's
I'm
my
just.
sister, y'all. Y'all love her.
Private hangout after
Yeah.
this?
You forgot about me, sucker. Hmm. I'm still mad about that, so I can't think about anything else. Let's see. No, I really think that this is just a talking point, and that's what it's always been. That there's not any intentions, especially no good intentions behind it. I don't think it's feasible to determine who is owed and who is not, or to make that a plausible thing on the back of the taxpayers. It's just not realistic, and more than anything, from this conversation, I think we have to be mindful of the words that we choose. Things like free, free, free. Nothing really is free. And I think those that believe that, got to look at what you're turning in for that free supposed
Right.
thing. So, and this will be used as we're going to push it through the House or through the Senate, and it'll be denied, and then it will become, look at those racists that wouldn't. We talked about it. Look at us. We're awesome. We talked about it. We at least we're going to have the conversation. That's what you're going to hear. Mark my
It's
words.
pandering. It's simply for pandering. Nothing more,
It's
nothing
more
less.
than
You're
it's
right.
more
You're
than
absolutely
pandering.
right.
Yeah, it's an intentional talking point. That's the only reason they would do this.
They're
They have
just
no
buying.
intentions.
Yeah.
They're just buying votes in the end. That's all they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
All right.
just strategy to play another game.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
All right,
right.
Mr. Tony Hogan. Your final thoughts, sir.
Well, points were being put out there. Same thing. It's all a ruse. Like I said earlier, you walking out the door, well, your girl walking out the door after she didn't gave you that I'm going with I'm going with Pookie, and you like, baby, and then she turns around. That's exactly what it is. You
Right.
know, the black folks have seen all the crap that y'all put us through
Mm.
with this Russia gate, and that turned out to be nothing but a witch hunt, and then it's like, okay, we gone now. We really gone now. And then it's like, oh, baby reparations. And then it's like, oh, free money. Okay, well, they brought the reparations up, so we're stupid enough to actually stop, turn around, and walk back. That's what it is. It's another tactical ploy to keep what little of that 15% that they need. That's why they're stalling on providing money for border protection
Yes. Yes.
because of the fact that he
They want to change
has.
the demographics too.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because they know that more over the next year and a half, more and more people are going to wake up to their tactics. So therefore, we need to keep the border open. We're not going to provide him, even though he has
Executive
executive privilege to do exactly what he's doing. It's like military, you don't need $76 billion. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit from here. I'm going to take a little bit from here. I have that right. It's already been proven in court It's already been proven by a judge as to where, yes, that is his executive right to pull money from different programs and organizations within the government,
To
but
allocate toward the
towards the
national emergency,
Okay.
right.
border
So
security. Yeah.
he's saying that, okay, well, if you guys want to bring it to a judge, whatever, okay, I'm not going to push it much. I'm going to make you look stupider.
Well, they had a hearing on it today,
Yeah.
and the biggest point, it was at the Ninth Circuit. It was Trump's the administration's attorneys against the Ninth Circuit. Three judges, two men and a lady, and their whole argument was they were arguing over the word item, whether the word item meant the
Mm,
wall or the actual thing.
mm.
It's
The Ninth
stupid.
Circus. Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
stupid. Like, you don't understand. Like,
Right.
this lawyer was giving them clear precedents, and they were still just like
Oh, they understand just fine.
Like,
disregarding it or
what
acting
is the
like they were
definition
stupid.
of the word is? It depends on
Yeah,
what your
thank you, Bill
definition of what
Clinton.
is. Remember
What's the
Bill
definition
Clinton?
of is? Yeah, Bill
Yeah.
Clinton. That's right. It's yeah. Well, that's all they have left, so that's good.
All
Hey,
right.
I mean, they literally spent 2 hours on the
I'm
word
sure they did.
item.
I'm sure they did.
I have a question. Who's
Okay.
fun, who's funding all of these migrant caravans?
Well,
Soros.
Deep state.
Soros,
I'm
cartel.
gonna
I will call it the deep state
The
because
I'm gonna say
same
it's
person
Soros.
Soros.
that they literally
Yeah.
will
Soros and
not
company.
allow back in his own fucking
Well,
country because
the
he's doing the
cartel
same thing
is part of
there.
it.
Because he crashed the economy.
Yeah,
He's not allowed to go
cartel.
back to Hungary because he crashed their entire economy.
Oh,
He's like
they gonna put
banned
his
from like
ass in
6 states.
The
I mean,
cartel
They
countries.
gonna kill him.
the cartel makes money from it, but
Yes,
they
they
don't
do.
fund it. They make money from it. But yeah, Soros is one of the major funders. There's some speculation about some others out there, but I
Hmm.
don't have anything solid, so I couldn't really say.
Well, I'm gonna say Soros too. I just wanted your
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah,
opinion on that.
Soros.
Well, isn't it
Soros is the
interesting that
main backer
he's become
because
a household name? Isn't that incredible?
yeah, I mean
Because it wasn't that
Soros.
long ago. Nobody knew who he
Another
was.
and another.
Most people didn't start finding out who he was till 2016. But
Well,
if you
Hell, a
knew
lot of
shit,
people,
you knew who he was before.
Yep,
well,
a
then
lot
I'm
of
sure
let's
they
people
do
did.
still
this.
don't know who he is. They know who he is now, but they don't know who he was. He was an
Right.
SS
Thank you.
Nazi. He was a
Yeah.
beefsteak Nazi.
Well,
He
Hey,
I
was a
have a good
communist
idea. Let's
first.
do
He
this
was
right here,
grown.
John.
Go
He
ahead,
was
Nationwide.
grown
Yeah,
Go ahead,
to
nationwide
do
stuff.
Nationwide.
what he does. He
hey,
was
I have a good
groomed for
idea.
that.
Let's go ahead and set this
Yeah.
up and make this a whole nother show because that's a
Oh,
whole
Lord.
other show.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah,
we can
yeah,
we
yeah, definitely.
you can label that show the deep state and see if
All
Well,
YouTube actually takes it off the
yeah.
air.
hey,
but
Alex Jones really brought Soros to life back in 2016.
No, I think he did that prior to 2016
Well, I'm just saying,
because
but he was the first one to really put his name out there.
Yeah.
Well,
oh
he's
yeah,
putting people in Congress, so we need to be careful because I can guarantee you he's the one behind the Justice Democrats, the ones
yes
who
Mm-hmm.
he
got
is.
AOC
Trust me.
elected.
Oh no,
Oh,
Hey,
Sandy.
I don't call
What?
them I don't call them Justice Democrats. I call them socialism generators.
There you go.
Well, it's the
It's
name of their
a
group.
it's
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
is.
know,
AOC.
but I give their true name.
It's those five radicals
Yep.
that was from the same group. It was five
To
of them.
to come
Yeah,
full
yeah.
circle, with
No,
all this, Black Lives Matter was funded by
by
George
so
Soros.
Sure
Yes,
yep.
sir.
was.
Yes, sir.
He was
Bingo.
busing people. He was busing
Mm-hmm.
people to and from like these protests, even the
Yeah,
rallies.
yeah.
Project Veritas
Yeah,
had them
no,
on camera admitting that they would
Yep.
go to Trump rallies starting fights with
Not a,
like
and
Yeah, like
paying them
there are ads out
$18 an
here for
hour too.
people.
wait a minute. Go ahead, deplorable.
no, like he was paying people to go out there and start fights. Like
Yeah.
he's got his hand in everything.
Well, he
Hit
replaced the Rockefellers.
yes, he does.
exactly. There you go. That's it. That's it. That's it.
It all goes back
So
to
with
Adam
that being
Weishaupt.
said,
Yeah,
we're going to
when
put
David
it
died, he took
for
over.
another
That's
day.
right.
We want to save that for another day. This is your boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a whole different topic that might get your channel shut down.
Fuck it.
This is your boy, Nation Wise Guy.
They
it's
shut
like
mine down for talking about stuff like that.
yeah.
Yo, he's trying to do his closing monologue.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
If y'all want to, if next time y'all go ahead and come in and talk to us. This is just what we do. We like to have fun, talk shit, and at the end of the day, we go home. So, motherfuckers, y'all go the fuck home. Good night.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well,
All
I
right.
guess that's our cue, huh?
Yeah. I'd like to say good night to all, and to all good night.
It's not before
Good night,
Christmas.
DJ.
Sweet dreams, angels.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good
Good
night,
night,
y'all.
everybody. Sweet dreams. Be safe.
Nationwide, thank you for having us on, babe.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.